like that. And I am lucky enough to be in a position where I come across some small collections like this. And this is a really cool collection that recently just got consigned to my business, mineralexchange.com. If you're not familiar with the auction house, in the description, figure it out. All right. How should we start here? And by the way, in this live stream, we'll talk about all kinds of stuff. I plan to be live for a little bit with you all, but I wanted to open this live and just kind of show off some of the stuff that I've been working on myself. So figured what better way to do that than to actually just show you my business. So where do we start here? These are pretty heavy. They're like, each box is like 60 pounds or something. What do I do? What do I do? Where do we start? Where do we start? First, hit the like button. If you could hit the like button, I'd appreciate it, because I'm not bluffing in my videos. If you don't know me, you're new to the channel, I'm not really bluffing. Okay. Or maybe I am. Who knows? Maybe this is all of these bars are fake. You never know. You never know. We'll find out. We'll start with this one. I get hernia, I swear, on my job. All right. Should we just get right into this thing? Should we just start cutting this thing open right away? But we'll get to all the comments. But as always, if you do a super chat or whatever, I might miss it right now, but I will always get to the super chat. So if you do a super chat, I won't forget about you. I just want to open this up and show that we're not bluffing in this stream. And I felt like doing this on a live stream because, to be honest with you, the YouTube algorithm likes it when you watch the video all the way through. Did you know that? Did you know that? So in one of these videos, we all know what we do. You skip to the part where it is all laying out in front of you. That is what you do. But you, unfortunately, in this live stream, have to continue to watch this all the way through because, you know, it is what it is. So, cheat code. All right. But I won't be bluffing. I promise. I'm not bluffing. Let's get into this thing. Where do we start? Where do we start up in here? I got to make sure that the mic is somewhere around here. And this is only box number 1, guys. This is only box number 1 around here. All right. But at least, at least you guys know that I'm not going to clickbait you right now, because usually people do clickbait these kind of videos. It's not clickbait. Or is it? We're going to find out. And I apologize for being gone for so long, guys. I've been working on building my business up, because it's one thing to talk about these problems, right? It's one thing to talk about the Fed and everything that's going on in the world, and it's another thing to try to come up with solutions. And in order to have solutions in this world that we're living in today, you got to get the money. I don't care what anybody says. Build your business, make your money, get some money together, and let's start making solutions on this planet. Because right now, the people who got the money, I'm not really too happy about it. And I want to join up in there. Like, when I see what Elon Musk just did recently, we'll talk a little bit about the Elon Musk Twitter deal, because I have some thoughts on that in this live stream that I want to bring up. But I digress. But look at what Elon just did, right? You think he could have just walked into Twitter headquarters and go, you know what? I don't like what you guys are doing over there. I don't like what you guys are doing. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And by the way, to all the news outlets trying to trash on Elon Musk, saying that $44 billion was a bad idea, Elon Musk runs nearly $1 trillion company that has never done a single advertising dollar in its entire career of Tesla. And all of Tesla, since it was launched, they never did a single dollar in advertising. You know why that is? Probably because their CEO has 100 million followers on Twitter. So the valuation of Twitter being at $44 billion, that's a pittance compared to the value it brings Elon Musk with the marketing potential in his position. People forget what that really is. It's not, Elon Musk is not just about, don't forget, Elon Musk is a savage capitalist. 44 billion was a steal for that. With 100, do you know how much it's worth for a guy like Elon Musk to have 100 million followers and then not be able to be stopped? I would argue, I would make this argument, and this is to all the fools in the big media out there that are trying to trash on him buying Twitter. Here's something interesting. Think about it from this perspective. What would happen to the valuation of Tesla? What would happen to the valuation of Tesla, which is in the hundreds of billions, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions, if Twitter kicked Elon Musk off? They have never spent $1 on marketing. Their rockstar CEO is their marketing department. That is their marketing team, Elon. So if they kicked them off of Twitter, I would argue that that would probably drop 100 billion off of the market cap of Tesla. Is the Twitter deal a bad deal? Now it is guaranteed that he can market indefinitely. It is guaranteed that he will never be able to be shut up on that platform, right? So was it really a bad idea to buy it for 44 billions? That was nothing. It's worth trillions to Elon Musk. He's laughing to the bank. Nobody's talking about it from that perspective, but I look at it from that perspective personally. So maybe some people in the comments will hear what I'm saying there, but let's get into some of this. Let's finally open up this box here because, I'll just keep rambling and rambling and rambling. The first one. Some people will think I'm crazy for that perspective. Yeah, I beg to differ on that. I think that it was a brilliant decision. It's a win-win across the board for the guy. All right, let's get started here. Oh, wow. First box I get into. That's a pretty cool set. All right. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you're new to the vintage bar scene, hop on over to my website or my Instagram and check out what we do with vintage silver bars and stuff. We'll just make a mess around here. But let's just, the first one, this is a pretty cool collection here. First box of like a bajillion. This video might be a little bit longer. But the first one is a cool, really cool set. And oh yeah, by the way, everything that you see in this video is going to be available starting at $0, no reserve in my auction house, mineralexchange.com. Shameless plug, but it's for real. And it'll likely be dropped on Monday. Wow, that is a cool set. So this is one of the, see if the focus is working for me. It's an Engelhard old school Hallmark collection from 1969 in the original case with all the counter stamps from London, Birmingham, Sheffield, Edinburgh. I don't know how to pronounce that, but pretty cool with the detail on that old school set from 1969 from Engelhard, pretty much the king in vintage silver. That is a cool set. Not a bad starting spot. Not a bad starting spot. There'll still be some people in the comments. Watch. There'll be people in the comments. Oh, that's all fake. Is it? That'd be a pretty good detailed fake right there. I'll tell you. But let's keep going. Check this one out. So this is a Swiss of Utah Handy Harmon piece. Pretty cool looking one. So we'll put this all, got a little tray in front of me. We'll start filling up this tray here. How about that? So boom. Oh, we got Jake in the crowd. Jake knows what that set is. We'll see, because this is a nice one. Sometimes they aren't this nice. Sometimes like the buttons on the side get broken there and the plastic gets messed up or it's missing the top part or whatever. So we'll see what this one goes for. But I would imagine in that range, if not a little higher. But we're going to find out. It auctions at $0 with no reserve on mineralexchange.com. If you're not signed up on mineralexchange.com, there's a link down there in the description. And quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed. Because I've been shilling my auction site for a very long time. But at least I own the thing. All right, let's see here. And another reason why I'm so focused on building my business and stuff is it's really hard to shut up a person that owns their own business and has their own money. They're kind of hard to shut up. It's easy to shut up like a news reporter or something like that because they can just lose their job. But when you own the business and you're building something and you have your own way, like when everything was shutting down and stuff, I didn't have to worry about things because I ran my own business. And that's why I'm so focused. Sometimes, like if I'm taking a few weeks off of YouTube, I'm working. I promise. This is the biggest auction we've ever done on Mineral Exchange. Over 150 items. I think 156 items end on Sunday. That's the biggest auction I've ever done. So it's a lot of work doing that. And I'm hiring people. If you are interested in working for Mineral Exchange, if you want to be involved with our media and stuff like that, shoot me an email. All the information will be on the website. But we are like, wow, this is Sorry, I'm rambling over here, but this is an old school Foster set. I think we recently set the high price in a prior auction on one of these, and this is like the nicest one I've ever seen. This is a Foster's Eagle's Nest set. Let me see if I could show the toning on it. It's got that like rainbow tone going on. This is gonna photograph really well. That's an insane set. I wouldn't be surprised if this went into the multi-thousands. This is a really cool set from 1969. It's funny because all the silver from the old school silver is getting harder and harder to find, especially when it looks like this. And it's just it's always cool. And when you see the quality of stuff, like the old school stuff, it's funny because the new stuff, they have so much better, equipment, but they can't even get close to how good the quality was back in the day. It's hard to show. The video's picking it up a little bit, the toning on this thing, but super cool Eagle's Nest set. This is going to break some hearts out there to some of my haters out there. They're going to be, looking at some of these videos going, how dare you have this kind of cool stuff coming onto your website? How dare you? Let me see here. Where's that? There we go. So that's box number 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes up in there. So not a bad start. Not a bad starting place, let me tell you. And okay, this one right here. This one right here. All right, I don't even know where to start. We're just going to start pulling out. This looks like the first one was nice and easy. This one, now we're getting pretty crazy around here. Okay, I'm just gonna start pulling stuff out, I think, and putting it in a pile over here. I got to get some room. So let me see here. That's all right. Let me make sure there's no information on this showing. Don't want to. There we go. Perfect. We'll put these over here. All right. I got more space now. Now I feel better. Okay. Should I just keep like dragging stuff out of these boxes here and just make a pile here? I think that's what I'll do. I wanted to share this type of experience with you guys because this has been like every day of my life for the past 5 years. And it's like, it's kind of fun. It's like Christmas around here. And the fun part is everything I'm showing you right now, it kind of is going to be infuriating because back in the day, I used to be able to find collections like these and be a little hustler and buy them myself. But nowadays, we just make the 10% and we keep moving. That's what happens nowadays. But so there's part of me that's like, wish I could just buy this stuff and sell it myself. But we are now a services-based company. But this pile is getting pretty, this is pretty heavy here. And keep in mind, there's still a whole nother box down there. I'm like the Pablo Escobar of silver bars around here. All right, hang on. this looks a little shady around here, a little bit shady. I promise you, it's only silver bars. Algorithm, I know you don't want to push my content, but I promise it's only silver bars. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I was not bluffing. We were not bluffing around here. All right. It's funny to me, like I'm. Okay, I don't even know where to start around this like thing. Kobe. Sorry, Kobe. I just apologize. Still love you, Kobe. All right. Let me see here. Wow. Just kidding. Sorry, I couldn't help the Scarface in me. I just okay. Was that appropriate? Was that appropriate? Probably not. Mineral Exchange should fire me. They really should fire me. Okay. First bar. Jeez. Wow. Okay, this is gonna get intense, guys. It's gonna be to people that are unfamiliar with vintage. This is every single bar in here is like a gem. Um, it's gonna be an intense week on Mineral Exchange next week. It's an intense week this week. I'll show you guys what we got going on the block this week, but this is intense. Okay, so first one is an ABC Australian Bullion Company kilo. And again, everything that you see here is a consignment. It's going to be on the block next week. So if you see something you like, it's not going to be like a show. It's show and tell, but it's like it's going to be available, which kills me because it's like stuff that I would want to buy. And I just have to be the auctioneer. This is what we signed up for, Rob. This is what we signed up for. Anyway, next one. Let's go for the big ones first. Wow, that's a cool bar too. So this is a Western States Refining WSR 25. Old school one. All right. Maybe I'll give myself some room on this tray here. Put these a little bit in front. All right. Play some silver Tetris around here. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I like to play silver Tetris every week. Wow. Jeez. This is a crazy one. I'm very envious right now of the people that are going to get their chance at this. That's some cool stuff. This is a Johnson Matthey. You know what? On the bars like this, you're allowed to touch them with your fingers, but bars like this, you're not allowed to. So, 1 second. Rob the bank right now. Robbing the bank. No fingerprints. All right. We might, Jake. We might. This is a Johnson Matthey London. Video camera is not going to do it justice. It's one of those polished ones from way back in the day. But see if I could get it to focus there. Johnson Matthey London. You see the 9990? If you're unfamiliar with how to spot an old bar, back in the day they couldn't refine it to 999.9, so you'll often see 999 or 999.0, and this indicates that it's an older bar from like the pre-70s period. I would imagine this is probably from the 50s, 60s. Old school JM London. Looks like a kilo. Pretty sweet bar. That's a cool bar. Pictures are going to look better on this one than on video because it's hard to show because the type of finish it has. It looks like it's really scratched up. It's a little bit scratched up, but it's not as bad as it looks on video. But that's a super, super cool bar. Really rare one. All right. Next bar. I'll keep the cute black glove on. Why not? Why not? I just got to be careful when I'm opening these things because you want to make sure that you're not cutting the bar. This is like, okay, I think what I got to, I don't know if like this is going to be the world's longest live stream, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. We're going to talk about some fun stuff in here as well. Wow, that's another cool one. This is all, I'm just going to keep saying, wow, that's cool. Wow, that's cool. Wow, that's cool. But it is really cool. And to be honest with you, if the thing is, people could skip to the end, but they're not going to get the close-ups. I'm not going to keep doing close-ups of it. You're going to get a close-up of each individual item as we go on, and I'll answer some of your questions along the way. This is a U.S. Silver Corp old school 5 troy ounce extruded. And to somebody was doing a comment earlier talking about what I think the Fed's going to do, this, and that. I think the Fed is looking to cause a market correction. I think that's what they're looking to do. I think they're going to keep pushing and pushing until they cause catastrophe. It's like they have a governor on when to stop, and their governor on when to stop what they're doing is when the market crashes. Then they're going to turn around, but they're not going to turn around until they crash the market. That's the truth. And right now, it's like I don't know who's going to be able to afford houses when the price to have a mortgage on it is like 8-9%. Like, who's going to want a house at that rate? And then you got to pay property taxes on top of that, which is already unrealized capital gains taxes on top of the already high interest rate. It's pretty crazy. They're trying to make it hard to get wealthy. That's what they're trying to do. They say, oh, we're going to tax the rich and take away from the rich and help the poor. No, they want to make sure what they're doing is they're trying to make sure that the poor can't climb the ladder to become the rich. That's what's happening right now. That's the truth. They always say they're doing something to help you when they're actually trying to, you ever see the meme like, trust us? We're from the government. We're here to help. Yeah. But that's what I think is happening with the Fed. And we'll make some videos about that in the future. This is a Harrington Australian kilo from 1981. Super cool bar. I do agree that they're going to be doing a 75 basis point hike. I think they're going to do probably maybe even a whole 100 basis point hike. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I mean, the only thing that we can do to really prepare ourselves is to build businesses, build your own business, and get money together. I think that the truth is like make your own money generating machine. If you have a way to constantly move cash flow and then put your profits into silver and gold and put your profits into things where you can actually store the money somewhere that you actually have custody of it, that's the key, in my opinion. But you got to play their game. You got to play their game with their funny money. You got to move that money around. You got to build a business. The truth is about a business, what they don't want you to know. I like to teach stuff that they don't want the average population to know, I think. And the algorithm probably doesn't even like me talking like that. So please hit the like button to try to distract it from dropping my videos down in the queue. But what they don't want you to know is so many kids, like they got tricked into getting a W-2 job where you work for some big corporation or whatever. And when you do that, say you make $6,000 a month. No, you don't. You make $3,000 a month or $4,000 a month because they take it right off the top. They take it right off the top. You don't notice your taxes if they take it right off the top, right? They just take it right off. They take their cut right in the beginning. The kingpin takes their cut right when the check gets cut. That's what happens. They go, oh, you make $6,000 a month? No, you don't. You make $3,500. What do you mean? But the business owners, they get to play with that money before they get their greedy little paws on it. That's the difference that they don't want you to know, and that's why I always preach to own your own business, because when you own your own business, you got expenses. Anyway, that's a super cool. This is a Circle City. Wow. From Denver, Colorado. This is a 50 ounce, or no, a 38.64 ounce Circle City with just unreal tone on this thing. People in the vintage world, like a lot of people that are in just the regular silver world, are just starting to learn about vintage, maybe from my website, because I give away all the price history for free. Make an account on mineralexchange.com, link in the description. And I own the auction house, by the way, not an advertisement. So to the powers listening to my video, not an advertisement. I didn't pay myself to say that. Let me see. Next. These look like some coins. I want to get the big stuff. This is like, to my friend watching this video, you didn't have to individually bubble wrap every single bar, man. Come on. This is bananas. Could have just baggied them, called it a day. Here's a pretty cool Simmons. This is a Simmons. I can't get too good of a shot on this thing. Simmons 14.5. Pretty cool. Little piece there. Put that. I think I don't need this anymore. There's only that one polished piece over there, so I can just go back to not wearing the fancy glove. Wow, that's another. This is all like if to the silver collectors out there, like this is all like the stuff that a lot of us dream about acquiring. The only way you come across stuff like this is from old collection surfacing because the shops just don't have it anymore. Everybody's been trying. Everybody's trying to be a hunter like I used to be. You know, back in the day, the coin shops and stuff, they didn't know about these bars. They would look at this. This is an Inglehart London 100 grammer. And maybe, you know, there's still some few and far in between, like a pawn shop that doesn't know what they got, something like that. And I'm very similar to, like, you know, when you see Gary Vee going to the garage sales and like, just got them. I just took them right there. I took them. I paid 25 cents. I'm going to sell that for 10 grand. You know, to me, you know, some people, they can cancel me as much as they want. But the truth is, like, I think that's great. Turns out you had more knowledge than that person. That person wanted a quick buck, wasn't willing to do the research. I think capitalism fades them out. I don't think they deserve to make the money then. If you did more research than the person selling it and you get to take advantage of an opportunity, that's the world. You held more knowledge. So I stand on that, the hustlers type perspective. And still, there is opportunity to find bars like this. And I'm really giving away all the data for free so people can learn what's rare and what isn't. And back in the day, you'd be able to find, like, you'd find this 100 gram Engelhard here, and this bar is worth quite a bit more than this. But I mean, the melt value of this bar is like, you know, $70 or whatever, $80, right? Just for the silver value of the bar. But the bar itself could be worth thousands of dollars. So there's opportunity out there still in the vintage silver and gold scene because most people, they go, oh, silver, silver. It's like, no, it's not. There's numismatic rare silver, and I've exposed it with my auction site. So the hustlers out there, there's still opportunity, and I'm still giving away the data for free. If people want to learn what stuff goes for, they can just go to the website, and I don't charge them at all. They can just look at the sold prices. Wow. This is you never see them in this size. This is a 5.48 Swiss of Utah. Handy Harmon. Super cool toning on this thing too. Handy Harmon is one of the oldest silver companies in the U.S. I think it's from like the 30s. Handy Harmon came around, but pretty cool. That piece might be from the 60s, 70s. All right, this is gonna be. I feel like what I should do is just move this big old mound here, and we're just gonna start cutting. We're gonna go a little bit quicker around here, and I'll answer some questions as I'm opening some of these. So, yeah, they're all very, very unique. Abid in the comments. I'm looking at the comments as I'm shooting the video. I'm looking at the comments, so I'll answer some of the questions and stuff while we're opening all of these. Hopefully, I don't cut my finger off. I get excited on collections like this, so you might see me getting a little shaky, like, holy grail. Oh, it's just now that I only operate on the 10% and we auction items off, a lot of the cool bars are coming in because people want to be treated fair on their items and not get, you know, taken advantage of by someone that doesn't know any better on how rare these are. Wow, it's a 3-ounce Engelhard MFR. There's people out there that really would be surprised what this bar goes for. 3 ounces of silver. How much do you think it's worth? Say in the comments. How much do you think that silver bar is worth? 3 ounce. I'm giving a crash course on how I made my first $100,000. People watching this video, you're getting a crash course on how Rob Soltan made his first $100,000. Just being completely honest with you. I used to go into shops, they didn't know what they had on something like this, walk in there with a turtled car, going state to state to state, probably on Tinder trying to find girls at local sororities. And I would go into these coin shops and these pawn shops around the country, and I'd find stuff like this, and they just valued it for regular silver. And I would do the research, and I had like the different worth points and things like that to find out what something's worth, or check the eBay solds or whatever. And you'd be able to find a bar like this, and they might be selling a 3-ounce Engelhard MFR, which is this one right here. They might sell that for like, you know, $100. And then you turn around and you go and do your actual research, and you find out that bar was worth, you know, $700, $800, and you'd be able to make the flip, and that's a pretty good payday. You do that a few times in a day, you're making some good money. And I went on a trip one time for about 3-4 months, going coin shop to coin shop to coin shop. One day I'll share, you know, more about my story as I continue to grow on here, but that was how I made my first 100 grand, was by doing that. Just being point blank about it. And I'm not really afraid to share it anymore because now the business has changed. Now I've turned into an auction house where we just make a consistent smaller amount. Jeez. I want this. This is come on, man. Come on, man. I want this part. I like stuff like that. So this is an old Engelhard pea loaf, but it's one of the first ones where it's serial number 30. You'll see these in this like serials of like 100,000, 10,000 in the 10,000s. This is the 30th bar that Engelhard made in this run. And this is a rare variety, one of the Engelhard 10 ounce. So to people out there, you might be able to tell that is an Engelhard 10 TOZ variety, low serial number 1, serial number 30. Pretty excited to actually be able to bring that to market. I want this bar. If I want it, you know it's a pretty cool one. And this will be auctioned on Mineral Exchange. If you want to see what it's even going, even if you don't want to bid and you just want to see what stuff's going for, this is how you do it. I'll just show you guys real quick. So this is the stuff that I got going this week. As you can see, we got some little cool Engelhard kilo. This Montana is a pretty rare bar on the very top there, but all kinds of gold and silver and stuff, all no reserve, all started at 0. This is my auction house. I own 100% of it, not 50% of it, not 25% of it. I'm not taking advertising money. I own this auction house. So people think it's an advertisement. It's not. It's not an advertisement. It is my auction house. So this is the stuff we got this week. We got 2 pages worth, 152 items, but this is where all this stuff is going. All of these bars is going to the website. As much as I want them, these are going to be auctioned at no reserve on the website, mineralexchange.com. But if you want to find out just what stuff is going for, you can just go to the auction history. And the auction history is completely for free. And we give away the auction history on all the stuff we've auctioned, so you can find out what stuff is sold for in the past, which will be very helpful if you want to be a hunter like I was. You know, if you want to be a hunter and you want to send stuff in to be auctioned for yourself, happy to help. And I'm giving away all this data for free. I should probably charge for this data. I know like WorthPoint is like $20 a month or whatever, $25 a month, something like that. Should probably charge for this data, but I'm giving away for free. These were cool. These were super cool. I honestly thought these were graded a lot. These should have gone for a lot more. Look at the. If you're in numismatics, that coin was like an MS-67. It really was, and it was probably 66 plus. But still, it was auctioned and only went for $25.25 with a buyer's premium. It was like $27.50, $27.77, something like that. That coin could very well be worth, you know, thousands more than that if it got regraded. But it's in one of those old holders. But yeah, that's we give away all the data. You can see like the bid history and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. When I'm away from YouTube, that's what I'm working on, mineralexchange.com. But let me go back. All right. Phil in the house. Appreciate it, Phil. Thank you, man. The thing is, it's like we're only on box number 1, so this live stream might be a little while if you guys are okay with that. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep this going here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep opening these and putting them on the tray, and then I'll show you once I put like a good 20 of them out here. Hopefully the next box isn't just individually wrapped like a bajillion pieces like this. It probably is, but that's a cool one. Jeez, there's some if people who know vintage, like there's some really cool stuff here. I'm getting my popcorn. Wonder if there's a vintage platinum. There is. There's a few vintage platinum pieces. If you go to my Instagram, I actually have a few vintage platinum pieces on the channel, or I mean on my Instagram, as well as some many cringe photos of myself for my haters. I want my haters to know that I'm over here working. But let me see. Wow. Jeez. We're not a collector anymore, Rob. We're not a collector anymore. We're building a business. We're building a business. I love this stuff. That's a hard bar to find. And that's a really, really nice one. It's like, do you know how hard I used to work to try to find this stuff in the wild? You know how hard it was? be a treasure hunter going state to state to state finding this stuff, and now it's just my guy. He's probably watching this. My friend out there is probably watching this, like giggling, like, ha ha ha. I didn't tell him what I was saying. But I felt like doing this on a live stream because it's been a little while, and I just felt like this will be some fun stuff to show. But we're getting through it pretty quick now. If I can just keep opening these, and then I'll show you once I put them on the tray here. But to the people thinking you can just skip this video and not watch it all the way through, we're trying to get to the YouTube algorithm around here. That's what we're trying to do. So if you could smash that like button, because I didn't clickbait anybody, I would really appreciate it. And we are trying to get some views going around here and try to grow the channel a little bit. If you're not subscribed to the channel, don't do it. Don't do it. The channel sucks. It's terrible. Never mind. I apologize. But we're getting there. We're getting there. This video is brought to you by nobody. This video is brought to you by this video is brought to you by my business. Wow, that's another. There's some. I think some people, like, you might be able to get a little peek of what's going on. Jake's. I think Phil and Jake. We got some collectors up in here, so they know the vintage stuff, and you can see a little bit of what that is right there. This is 75K might have been an underestimate. It might have been an underestimate. This might be around 100. Like there's some stuff here that's serious. Like that was a very conservative estimate that he told me. But let me see. What's up, Jay? How are you? Wow. I'm gonna like give a little preview so that people can, when I'm gonna give a close up of all of these. So like as I'm opening it, you can at least see a little preview of these bars, and vintage collectors out there know what it is, sort of thing. But we're gonna put them down, and then I'll give you a close up in a little bit. But I really am. I'm telling you, if you're 18 years old watching this video, 17 years old, 18, 19, this is not financial advice. This is just what I would do. But if you do fall in that range, this is not financial advice. I can't give advice on my YouTube channel. I'm just a foolish YouTuber. But what I would be doing personally, if I was in that position of being 18, 19 years old, I would take mental note of what all these bars look like. I would get in my car and I would start hunting. I would start going to garage sales. I would go to pawn shops. I would go to everywhere that I could. The real way to get ahead in this world right now is the flip life. The flip life is real, whether it's flipping couches and selling them on Craigslist or whatever, or if it's finding these bars like I did back in the day. There's still opportunity out there. It's a little bit more saturated in this specific space, but I still find. I mean, that guy who bought, I keep repeating one of the things that happened with the website, but somebody looked on my website, saw that the yellow daisies sold for a lot of money, was in a pawn shop and saw that they were going for, I think he bought them for like close to melt, like just like regular silver prices. And then turns out they were worth like $2,000 a piece, these bars that he paid like $200 for. $250, something like that. So he's into them for like $500 and then gets a check from Mineral Exchange for like $4,000. That's how you make real money, guys. The guy walked into a shop, put these bars in a box, and then got a check 2 weeks later for $3,500 profit. I mean, people talk about how do I make money? It's like, I'm out here trying to tell some people how to make some money around here. This is real information that actually is making people money. So if I had the choice, I actually wanted to, I'm going to make a couple shorts about this, but I'll give you a little preview on a little idea, a concept that I had, because all these people watching this live stream here could get a little bit boring seeing me opening up all this stuff. So I want to at least drop some value on you all. But really, the bars I'm about to show you is dropping value on you all, because you could actually find out what's rare and what isn't. Probably some coin shop owners in here like, son of a, I had no idea. I sold that for spot. That kid got me. I did get you. I did get you many times back in the day. Sure did. But that's the way of life. They got grandma that walked in the shop, and then I got them. So it is what it is. But the idea that I was going to bring up in I'm going to do probably some reels about it and make some more Instagram. I got to get on that TikTok thing. As much as I'm a little bit hesitant about that one, I feel like it'd be a good move for the business and stuff. Very rare bar. This is like one of those bars. Like if you found this in a shop, how much do you think this is worth? In the comments, how much do you think this 3-ounce single hard is worth? God, the patina on this thing is crazy. How much do you guys think this is worth? What do you think? It's just a 3-ounce silver bar. 3 ounces of silver. It's no big deal. But Helix, more. And people that don't believe me, tune into Mineral Exchange. Go to mineralexchange.com, make an account. It's free to make an account. You just got to put an email in there and register your email. But you get free access to the price history, and you can just use the search feature and check out what stuff goes for. And then when you're out there hunting, you can just use my website and look up Engelhard 3-ounce bar, and you'll probably find a comp there for you to compare and make money. I'm out here. I'm making hustlers every day. Every day I'm making some hustlers. Hopefully, by watching my content, I get more people, hypothetically, just my opinion of what I hope happens in the world, of what I would do personally, not you, because this isn't advice, but my hope is that more people, decide for themselves, not off my advice, but for themselves, to think college is a scam, because college is a scam, in my opinion. And then go and make some money. Get out there and make some money. Don't let them take your money. Get out there, go on YouTube, study some stuff, learn some valuable information, because they don't give you the valuable information in college. And get some money. This is bananas to me. Like, this is an entire collection that probably took 10 years to hone this in. I mean, none of this is average stuff. None of it. So, but the thing I was going to say, so let me just pause real quick as I'm opening all of this. You're given a choice right now. You got this iPhone here. It's a supercomputer in your pocket. It's got like I don't even know, 100 megapixel camera on the back at this point. The quality of the videos, everything is insane on this thing. You can access anyone in the world. You can tap your ear twice on a wireless earbud and call anybody in the planet. You can reach out to anybody on social media. This thing is the most powerful, underestimated device in the world today. People have no idea because my generation went through 2007. I remember what it was like using a Motorola Razr like it was something cool. Oh, it's got my friend's face on the front of it. Wow, look at that. It lights up colors. I remember that day. And I remember when I was about 14 years old, 15 years old, and this iPhone came out. And Steve Jobs did his first presentation of the iPhone. And they underestimate how valuable this really is. And it's only $1,000, can do anything. I started my entire business on an iPhone, flipping and hustling stuff on social media. Seriously, it was all right on this phone. If you were given, this is to prove college is a scam. If you were to go, if I were to give you the choice, rather, for an 8-year education, you go get your PhD, your MBA, whatever it is, for the longest term duration of going to Harvard, the highest Ivy League school in the land. You go there for free for 8 years. You get the choice to go to Harvard for 8 years for free. This education probably cost $500,000, maybe $1 million at their prices, because they love to charge people a fortune for that. Or, and this is or, you do not get to go to Harvard with an iPhone. You get to go to Harvard, and you have to go to Harvard. You get to go for free, but you get no iPhone. Or you're homeless and you get this iPhone. You're given that choice. What do you want to do? Knowing the potential of this phone, knowing what it could do, and I just hand you this phone, and you don't get the opportunity to even have the phone, period. The iPhone doesn't exist. You get to go to Harvard. I would choose the phone 100 times out of 100 times. 100 times out of 100 times. Because the Harvard education doesn't guarantee you anything. Even if you exit Harvard with no debt, you're going to exit there and you're going to hope to get a job, whereas the iPhone could get you can learn anything you want. And if you didn't have that potential of the iPhone, I'd choose the iPhone and be homeless all day long. I'd go right back to where I was, 6 years ago. I would literally do the exact same thing that I did. I would never, ever, ever go to Harvard. And it's funny because maybe some people will choose Harvard. Maybe they will. And that's because they underestimate the supercomputer in their pocket. That's what I think. That's what Is it though, Phil? Is it though? I mean, some maybe, but is it? Yes, a lot of them are exiting college right now. The thing is, college used to be something different. Today's college is different than last, from like college of, when I was actually, no, when I was growing up, college still was a scam. But I think college like pre 2000 was probably good for people. But nowadays, if you're getting into debt for a degree, it's the best time ever to be an entrepreneur. It's the best time ever. And what's that guy? The guy who got canceled. I'm not allowed to say his name probably because the powers that be probably don't like me to say that. But I think he's right about. He said something like, "When you see a fancy car pull up to you, do you say to yourself, oh wow, they went to college? Wow, look at that Ferrari right there. I'm sure that dude went to college." No, think what business does that person own? I mean, what are they operating? You never think like, oh, you got a Rolls Royce. Wow, that guy went to college. But yeah, see, Jake, I graduated from Purdue University in 2000. Total bill $20K. That's back in 2000. You got to way cheap. See, they might have been worth it for you. But what I'm seeing these days is kind of anyway. I also hold a big bias, so they made me feel pretty dumb in college. Maybe I am. We're playing some silver Tetris around here, guys. We're playing some silver Tetris around here. It will be more obvious when the social credits tracking grid does live and cash and it's gone. Talking about like a CBDC or something like that. You see, the thing is, like a CBDC already exists. We already have a CBDC, so to speak, because like look at the wire transfer system, look at ACHs, all of this stuff. It already like that whole system already pretty much is there because they already do monitor most of that. I mean, most of the money in the world, 90% of it plus is digital already. So when they say CBDC, it's like they already kind of got that. They already have kind of taken away the like go to your bank and ask for over $10,000. See what they do. Then ask if if it's going to be much different. It's kind of already digital. And there's just nonstop. This one's still in the original packaging. This is going to be fun doing the photography for this one. It's going to be, I'll tell you what, Monday on Mineral Exchange, all of this is going to drop. And it's going to be a painful day for my enemies. It's going to be a painful day for my enemies, that's for sure. Just kidding. No, it's gonna be a lot of fun to see all this and what it all goes for. Pretty intense. Even better, our Mr. Kriegs, you are correct. You are correct. Maybe the reason they won't show my videos out there that much, they like kind of they know that in a way whenever I start these live streams, you have the choice to post the comments in the live stream or to not post the comments. And there's a lot of pretty based people in the comments around here, and maybe that's why. Maybe it's like, oh, you just turned off the comments and let people talk like that only in the live streams, and then we'll push it out more. See that? That's what I learned in the Boy Scouts when I was a kid. You cut away, you pull away from the hand. You see that? That's how you survive in this world. Make sure you cut away from yourself. We got one of these on the block this week. As I'm opening this up, I'm sure people that are in the vintage scene are seeing this and going like, I know what that is. Silver Soul. I'm I'm broke. I'm broke. This is all fake. This is all iron. This is iron and aluminum. I'll try. I'll try to like make sure it goes in a different direction, Phil. Try to make sure it goes somewhere. I'm making some progress here. We're making some progress. I think that this is a good strategy here. This is a good strategy, I think. You know, we got it. I thought that this was just going to be like, you know, all in just baggies or something like that. But nope, it's all taped, all bubble wrapped. Some stuff I haven't even seen before in here that I have to do more research on. This is an insane lot. This is insane. I mean, this week there's some really cool stuff on the website, but I mean, next week is going to be intense. So I promise you, I have not been in Hawaii. I have not been partying. I've actually been getting up at like 4 a.m. every single day, working extremely hard, learning new invoicing software, realizing how terrible the banks are at allowing us to move money around, um, learning all the different bookkeeping type things and realizing how terrible their softwares are, and just perpetually going through hell building my business right now. So I promise you, I've been working, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm actually right now I'm working on getting a deal with one of the payment processors to if I advertise them, if I'm actually, you know, if I team up with a payment processor, maybe, just maybe, it won't be so hard to move money around. That's the length I'm going to now. And I never like advertising for anybody, but there's one specific way to pay people that actually is a very good way. And I'm like, look, I gotta give something to my user base on here, you know, on the website and to my following that, you know, makes them want to use and realize that this is a good one, that this is the best one. Because I'll tell you what, wire transfers are hard to do. They're expensive. Venmo limits you, Cash App limits you, especially with businesses. It's like paying 3% to PayPal, 3.5% for their goods and services. It's crazy. That's ridiculous when you're buying stuff that's thousands of dollars. It's like using PayPal is absolutely ridiculous. A lot of people do use it because they want to use credit cards or whatever, but I think it's a foolish method. Really, the only methods is wire transfer, ACH, and check. And there's one way to send a check digitally, and I think that's the way of the future. So I'm working with them to try to offer something to everybody to show them that it is the best possible payment method. Still has its flaws, but it's better than the other ones. And hopefully I can get some sort of like direct contact over there to help people. But I'll tell you, the hardest part, there's a lot of hard parts about being in the auction business, but the hardest part is getting the money in the account. Just getting the money to move around, especially if you're in Canada or something. It is so hard to move the money around without people skimming money out of it. It is insane. We live in the day and age where we have supercomputers in our pockets, but we can't figure out. We can put an earbud in our ear, tap it twice, and call anybody in the world, literally. But we can't figure out how to move money around in an efficient way without people taking 3%, 2%, whatever it is off the top. Insane to me. Insane to me. So that's like one of my, if I have to build another business, it's going to be something around payments because it's like the payment industry is so ripe for disruption. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you know, so people are saying Bitcoin, and I tend to agree with you. I think it's Bitcoin is the design of Bitcoin is very elegant when it comes to final settlement, knowing that the funds are irreversible, moving it around, and all of that. But when working, you know what? Maybe in the future I do. The thing is, what would be beautiful is when Bitcoin stabilizes. If Bitcoin gets to say like 100,000 and stabilizes there, it'd be such a beautiful payment method. It really would. And then you never have to use a bank again. But they're not going to go down without kicking and screaming on that front. They really aren't. Wow, this entire tray is pretty much full at this point. It's pretty much full at this point. Oh, there's some low mintage Engelhard bars around here. I don't like to get into the mintages myself because we really don't know exactly the amount, but they're definitely extremely rare bars. Speaking of which, there's another one right there. I'm making a mess down there. I'm making a mess. It's another one of those Engelhard MFRs. People know my opinions of anything other than Bitcoin. The only crypto that I think is a good one is the only one that was meant to be. I only like Bitcoin personally, and I could go in a long rant of why I only like Bitcoin, but a bajillion art bars. Wow. Okay. We're pretty much filled up around here. I've been making a dent in this pile around here. I've been making a dent around here. I'm telling you. What's up, Zilla? How are you? That's crazy. That's crazy, Jake. That is that's a rare bar. I think those bars go for above 1,000, right? I am. I'm always playing Silver Tetris. I having ADD or OCD or whatever it is that they want to say I got. It's definitely goes into full effect when I play Silver Tetris on here. Look at that. Boom, perfect spot. And I'll post pictures of stuff. By the way, if you want to see pictures of the stuff that I collect and the infamous my boss right there, this whole time, if you check my story on Instagram, you will see just how much of a boss this individual is right here. That's the captain of the ship. First day I met Toad. Toad just looked at me and was like, "I'm the captain now." I was like, all right, you get to stay. Keep watchdog, watch Toad. Excuse me, apologize. But if you want to see, just go to here, and shoot me a follow on Instagram, and I post all this stuff. Here is right here. Here's Toad doing his thing today. You know that bar is actually next week. That bar is going to be on the auction block. That is a 5-tail Johnson Matthey London bar, which is an insanely rare bar. We're going to have a crazy gold, a 6-ounce gold bar auctioning at no reserve on mineralexchange.com. Will be pretty intense. But if you wanted a close-up picture of what was the individual watching over me on the on-air sign up there, that is the boss Toad right there. That is where pretty much all of the business, brains, everything behind that guy. That's so anyway, but if you want to see me playing Silver Tetris from the weeks, like this is this week's of auctions. I'm always playing Silver Tetris with these little trays in front of me, and this is all the stuff being auctioned on the website this week. So if you want to kind of get a sneak preview of the stuff that I'm going to put on mineralexchange.com, or if you want to watch my crazy self post cringe photos of myself and things like that, go ahead and head over to my Instagram, Rob Soltan on Instagram. And we keep dabbling. We're going up. I know I'll post something cringy, and then we'll go from a 9,000 to 8,990. We're getting to it's hard to get that last 1,000 followers in there to get to 10,000. So maybe some people can help me get to that 10,000. Share some of the content or something. We're gonna hit 10,000 on Instagram. It's gonna happen. But if you want to check out like pictures of all this stuff, there will be pictures of it on Instagram later on. But yep, I'm gonna go back. All right. The Toad, the thing is, like, people are, I have been offered stupid amounts of money for the boss Toad. I really have. And it's like, nope, nope. And you can check my story right now on Instagram. If you check my story on Instagram, you'll see the first post I ever had with Boss Toad when he finally came to me in his vintage box. He's actually old. He's from, I think, the vintage, it was like a tradition in Korea to make them. And they made like one of one Toads. And he's one of those from like the 70s. And weighs exactly 18.8 grams because 8 is like a lucky number in their culture. And he chose me. He chose me. He came to me in a very odd way, and I decided that he's more valuable than anything we have here. There isn't really even a value on him. My main goal, though, is to like for these multi-billion-dollar silver and gold companies and auction companies out there to basically be like, how is this little squirrel and his toad getting into the scene? Like, this shouldn't be possible. This squirrel and his toad. Like, how are they doing this? We're coming for you. We're coming for you. All right. All right. I feel like I should show off one of these trays now. I should show off. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That's a Boss Toad is a one of one piece from the 70s. They're trying to copy. They're Boss Toad is so famous that like little gold silvers and pourers out there are trying to copy toads. They're literally trying to make toads because Boss Toad is so famous. That's some funny stuff. That's some funny stuff. Y'all should be embarrassed with yourself. There's only one Boss Toad, and you will never know the dimensions of the true Boss Toad. There's only one. He's a one of one. He's right there. Nobody. I even have the original assay certificate from like the 70s. That's in Korean. Boss Toad was made in a very unique way. Let's see. Just like me, one of one piece in the 70s. All right, all right, all right, all right. We're gonna show the tray here. We're gonna show the tray. First tray, and then I still got there's still a decent pile of stuff over here. So I gotta like make room. I could pull out another tray. I'll go grab another one, but let me. We got there's one little spot in the corner over here. There's one little spot in the corner. We're gonna fill up that little spot because we got to do that. All right. This is gonna be pretty intense. I didn't realize how much is really in these boxes. Like I thought, and to be honest with you, I think the value is actually I could have made this video much more clickbaity. I could have been like 150,000 worth of silver. But these are all really rare pieces. Hang on. Let's see if I could give you guys a little preview here. Can only tilt it so much. Hang on, hang on. That way, this way. I'll have to, you know what I can do? I can put them right there, and then I'll tilt the camera forward. I'll get it, because I got to get another tray too. Hang on. Here's what we'll do. All right, all right, all right. That's not a good way either. That's not a good way either. Hang on here. All right, all right. Think that gave a little bit of a shot. People got to see some of the craziness up on there. Yeah. All right, all right. Next, you know what I'll do is like I'll get another tray and we'll just keep making trays of silver around here, and then I'll give you guys a show. Yeah, I'll kind of show each piece too towards as we're doing it. Like this is stuff that like you're not gonna find by like the person that's going to like buy a bar and then resell a bar or whatever. Like they usually can't find stuff of this caliber. This stuff has to come from like actual collections. It has to come from collectors because it's so hard to find this stuff these days. And I'm really not just like being a salesman on that. It's really true. It's getting hard to find the vintage stuff, especially good quality stuff like this. You guys should see the floor over there. There's just nonstop little bubble. Someone's gonna come in here and think I'm in a different business. All right. Still playing some. Let me grab another tray so I can put the rest. Like we're getting down to it. We're almost there. We're almost there. I think that the strategy of showing them as I'm opening them up was a good one. So we'll do both. We'll show the trays. These trays will be on Instagram as well. So if we're going to show the pieces individually on here and we're going to answer some questions, we'll keep this video going. This might be a long video. Rob going to start an OnlyFans silver account. I might. How much you going to pay? You know, $10 a photo, $10 a photo. On my Instagram, I post cringy, shirtless photos already. I could take my shirt off and put some on my chest, put some silver bars around here. Any ladies watching that'll like that? $10 a photo. $10 a photo. Is there 50,000 of you out there? Just kidding. Aha. I got a fancy green tray and another fancy beige tray around here. Here's the funny thing. There's still a whole nother box. Like, and all right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put this tray down a little bit, and I'm going to start inching away over here. Rob, you need an overhead cam to show your hands opening bars. All the hands freaks will come too. I gotta stop. You know what? Like, you know what I gotta do? What's his? Yankee stacking. Yankee stacking is one of them, and I came at him sideways a while back, and I was wrong in that situation. He's actually a pretty cool cat, and I like his little dealer that he goes and talks to from time to time. They seem like cool cats, but they are handsy people. Show your face. You can do it. I believe in you. But he's a cool cat. I like him. I just don't understand. Like, because the thing is, like, if you're showing your hands, okay, like, you're afraid of, like, the powers that be to see your face. But it's like, your AdSense account is on. We all know your AdSense account is on. They know who you are. They have your location. They have your data. They got your name. Like, come on. In order to put the money into the account, you got to link the account and the routing number. And we all know you got the AdSense on. So who are you hiding from? Show yourself. Yeah, he's a cool cat. I actually, I think it was somebody said that in one of my live streams. Like, I was talking smack like I usually do because I'm an arrogant piece of what. And I remember like saying something about the handsies. I'll go look at this is my silver bars, and like this would be a great hands video right here. Look at this silver bars. Look at them. Here they are. They're beautiful, vintage rare silver bars. Wow, what an amazing collection of vintage silver bars. Look at my hands. Aren't they beautiful? I should probably get a manicure. Look at all the dirt under my fingernails. It's beautiful. But the truth is, they're cool cats. They're cool cats. Especially that dealer dude. He's like an old school American, and I shout out to him. Truth be told, that's one of the individuals that will see a video like this and be like, that little ginger kid came into my place like 5 years ago and took me for all the rare vintage silver bars that I had. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Tim. I'm sorry. That was me. Mineral exchange. That was pre-mineral exchange, actually. That was just Rob. Do I feel bad about those days? No, I don't. Not even a little bit. But there were actually all kinds of scores back in the day. Yeah, flex the rollie a few times. That'll be... Tim is definitely based. He's a based dude. I like that cat. I like him a lot, actually. I watched him in a couple of his things, and I'm going... That's the kind of... You know what it was? Like, when I was growing up, people were like that. When I was like a kid, when I was like 14, 15 years old, and I'd be like riding my bike around town and whatnot, people acted like him. Like that's how parents would act back in the day. It was like that guy acts. And so there's not too many of them out there anymore because nowadays people are just kind of weird. A lot of these circle cities. Actually, I like these little trapezoid bars. I like Coin Guy was yeah. Shout out some of your favorite channels up in here. I'm curious. You know, we got 100 people in here, and if we all hit the like button, I think we could get some more people up in here. So what do I got to do? Do I got to switch the if I switch the overview to a camera shot? If I put an overview camera and I go like this, and we stop showing my ugly mug up in here, would that get more views? I think it would. I think maybe I think that's what the problem is with my videos. I gotta do that. John says, kind of random question, but do you have a favorite cologne to wear? You always dress like a professional. It's admirable. You know, I believe in what Jordan Peterson preaches a lot. Like sometimes, even when I'm just by myself, like today. I haven't even talked to. I've talked to everybody online, you know, but I haven't like met up with a girl or done anything today or like talked with any people. There's no real reason for me to dress fancy, but this isn't really fancy to me. These are just I like to make $12 shirts look like they're 1,200. That's usually what I try to do, but I don't like spending money on. And also, I have like a thing where I don't like to make decisions, so I'm either like in a white or a black shirt, the same ones, and I have like 10 of the same shirt. Literally, like it's not the same shirt. I have like 10 of the same shirt, and I just have a line of clothes that are all the same clothes. And that's what they use that to say, oh, he's got Asperger's. There's something going on there. That's what I'm like. But really, I just don't like to make that decision in the morning. But in regards to cologne, I don't really worry about that kind of stuff. One second. To be honest with you guys, like back in the day, I was a little bit of a playboy when I'd be traveling around. I'd go like when I was in city to city traveling around finding this stuff. I would be, real interested in all of that and trying to go out and date and whatnot. But these days, I'm busy building stuff, man. I'm busy building stuff. And to be honest, I'm kind of like staying away from that scene. I don't like drinking. I quit drinking. I don't like the party scene at all. And if there's somebody like I like my routine so much, my daily routine of like waking up early in the morning, going to the gym, going in the sauna, doing things like that. It's like I like my routine so much that somebody's gonna have to be real cool for me to, mess with my scene, my routine at all. I'm not gonna be interested in breaking my routine for just someone because they're pretty, like that stuff fades, it really does. I'm interested in building my stuff. Yeah, like this big silver pyramid in front of me. This is what I do. Like it's a Friday night right now, right? I should be, swiping away on some dating app right now and pulling up with some cologne on me, right? But no, I'm not interested in that. I'd rather be the magnet than the fisher. That came to me in like a weird way. Wow. Wow, that's cool. Wow. That's unbelievable. In the original package. This is an old school extruded Matthew Garrett, which is an extension of Johnson Matthey out of Australia in the original packaging. This is one of those that's a that's a really like I haven't even seen another one of these out there. That's gonna get some collectors going. Yeah, beauty is a liability. To me, I like to. Most people they want to be paid to be a liability in my life, and I'm not interested in that. They want me to pay for liabilities. I like assets. Somebody said they're scared of need a box cutter sponsorship. You see that to the individual that sent this to me? You see, you bag this up so much that you're going to get me to cut myself on camera. Algorithm, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, algorithm. Kidding. I remember Boy Scouts and whatnot. They taught me how to cut away. I got a handle on this. It's like famous last words before I gotta go to the. Man, you see that, ladies out there? Some guys they try to get these for different things, but I'm more interested in the silver ones. Don't worry, I learned how to use a blade in my day. I should have went because I got a little knife collection. I should have got like a fancy one, some like super fancy looking. Another time in the future. But no, that actually like I'm actually not kidding about that whole concept. I remember there was there might have been um mind altering things involved, and I remember that I had this realization that you want to be the magnet, not the fisher in this life. You want to be the magnet, not the fisher. Um, and what do I mean by that? A lot of guys they go throughout their life and they're trying to fish the right person into their life. They're trying to fish the opportunity out into their life, right? But the good stuff, the stuff that you actually want, it'll magnet towards you. And I think more people got to try to be the magnet, not the fisher. So build yourself up. Go to the gym. Take care of yourself. Eat good. Get good sleep. Do that kind of stuff. And then eventually the things that you want magnate towards you. And then you get to, decide whether you even want that around you or not. Personally, I don't even want it around me. I want to be building stuff right now. I'm too busy. But so this person asking what cologne I wear or whatever, jeez, I'm not interested in that kind of stuff right now. My cologne is BO. That's what my cologne is. They don't like it, they can kick rocks. That's a cool brown materials. Mike's the type of magnet I'm going by the definition of it. But clearly there's I didn't really fish for this. I used to fish for it, but this is like it's different. The models are shifting. But cologne is magnetic. But there's another one of these browns. So there's some rare bars up in here, guys. There's some rare bars, and we're finally at the last three of the first box. This was the first box. My guy, did you have to individually bubble wrap each and every single one of these? Whew, whew. Breaking a sweat around here. This is hard work. You actually got to be careful with that. The type of deodorant you put on. A lot of it has aluminum in it, and it's not really good for you. One thing that I want to start getting into, and I'm starting to post a little bit of that stuff on my Instagram, but like I'm actually a really, really big health nut. Like I've made my own water since I was like 15 years old. I knew from a young age that water was really important, and I'd never drink from plastic. Um, I only eat one meal a day. Like things like that. I'm actually like really picky about my health stuff. I only like to work out in the morning because when you work out at night, it gets your blood going and you can't go to bed. My gym costs more than my car. Put it that way. If you want to know more about where I spend my money, literally my gym costs more than my car. My watch costs more than my car, actually. But the only reason I don't spend money on like stuff that I don't think is worth it. So even cologne would fall in that category of like, I'm not gonna have some fancy smell to attract somebody. That's a cool little American gold and silver with the Route 66 sign. All right. All right. We did it. We got through the first box. Look at us now. Can you look at us now? You know what I can do is this type of tray here, I think I'm going to be able to tilt because it's got the edges on it. That's what I got to do. I got to get the trays with the edges and play some Tetris over here. Man, there's some really cool stuff. We'll just stick with only bars on here so it'll... All right. We should get to, we got some open space over here, but as this fills up, I'm going to be able to like tilt this one because it's got the edges on it, but I got to fill it up a little bit more. But let me show you. We got some Inglehards up in there. We got some Browns up in there, but they're sliding. So I gotta play Tetris. I gotta play some Tetris, and then it'll stick. So let's get to box number 2. Let's get to box number 2. This is probably the rarest bar that I've pulled out so far. I had a 5-ounce gold version of one of these way back in the day that I stole for double spot. This is a really sought after bar. It's a Cripple Creek, Colorado, 2-ouncer. To people that are in the vintage scene out there, you'll know that this is. It's hard to get it to focus a little bit there. 2-ounce Cripple Creek. That's probably one of the better ones right there. Yeah, Zilla knows what it is. Zilla knows what it is. There's some pretty crazy stuff up in here, guys. There really is. It's quite an array. All right, we're on box number 2 now. You believe it? we have gotten to box number 2. Let's get some room around here. I promise I'll keep giving you guys the shots as we go along. Beto, so what's interesting is back in the day, people would see what we used to pay for vintage bars and they'd go, "What is wrong with this crowd of people? Why are you paying $100 an ounce for silver? You guys are crazy." Everyone in vintage bars knows that we 5 to 10x'd our money in the last 5-10 years. Literally. Over the last 5 years, because of social media and how much people are like trying to show off their silver collections and stuff, it literally made these vintage bars go up so much in value. It's crazy because there's only so much of it out there. So this was one of the crazier pieces here as well. I mean, there's so much rare bars in this one. This is why I wanted to make a video specifically for this, because there's some crazy stuff. But how much do you guys think this Inglehard London 250 gram goes for? How much you guys think that goes for? It's even got a little bit of the waffle back on the back side of it. It's a cool bar. There's only so much of this out there. This is from the actual London bullion trade back in like the 60s and the 70s. Super, super cool bar. But this bar will be, in the thousands of dollars. It's a rare bar. And back in the day, people would think we were crazy for paying, much less than that. But the vintage bar scene, I mean, I think what it is vintage bars are becoming more numismatic. Kind of like when somebody made a Morgan silver dollar, They didn't think to themselves, oh, wow, people are going to collect this one because it's a Carson City one and it's really well struck and is more proof-like, or it's got the dimple or whatever with it. They didn't think about that when they were making the Morgan Silver dollars and when they were making St. Gaudens and Liberties and things like that. Nobody thought that they were going to grade them and they were going to be worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars for some of these coins. They just were making these coins. And the same thing with these bars. Some of them are better quality. Some of them are from time that these companies are out of business. So they're highly collectible now. So they're kind of in a similar sense. That's what happened. Swear, I don't think I got to go to the gym anymore, guys. I just got to lift these 60-pound boxes off the floor, get a hernia. All right. Boom. See, there's still somebody here. No, you're still crazy. Am I? Am I? Maybe. You might be right. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. If this video hasn't earned a like, to the one person, so we got 110 likes, one dislike up in there. To the one dislike person, I would love to meet you in person. The one dislike, that's the one that I would, I'm sure you're a fun one. Boom, we got 113 likes. Somebody hit the like button right there. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're trying to get these videos out to more people. Wow. This is going to be cool. This is going to be cool. You guys are going to be hyped on this one. That one is... Should I just go one box at a time? I can not do the whole pile on the table. Although a pile on the table does look pretty cool. Maybe we're getting down to it. Let's do the pile. I could have, if to those that haven't hit the like button, that you're on the fence about hitting the like button. I know you're thinking about it. You're like, you keep saying hit the like button. I don't really like it when people tell me hit the like button. I'm not going to hit the like button. Probably, I'm going to unlike the like button here because you keep saying it so much. To that person out there, at least I didn't, rickroll you or whatever, At least I wasn't lying. If anything, I think I underestimated it. I could have made this title even more clickbait. I could have been like $1 million in vintage silver bars. Dude, I'm feeling like Pablo around here, I'm telling you. Jesus. To the the version of me living in the back of my car, traveling to coin shops, trying to find this stuff way back in the day. Can you see us now? Can you see us now? Jeez. This is bananas. Now you guys know why I haven't made some YouTube videos in a little while. This is getting pretty crazy around here. I got to process all this stuff. This is getting... All right. The squirrel in me is... This is all... This is 5 gajabillions. If I have you seen the videos of who out there? It's 100 billion trillion billion 45 million 100 billion million trillions of dollars. This is a million bajillions of dollars. That's the person running the show, by the way. That's... What's in the box? Juggernaut knew that there's certain moments in my life where I go full squirrel, and that's when I'm just like, mine, Mine. You know, like the Ice Age squirrel. Mine. 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 Big brick. I like the big brick. I want to find out what's in the big brick. All right, big brick goes first. All right. All right. All right. Whew. Sorry, kids. I'm sorry. That wasn't good. That was bad. Get a little excited. I get a little excited around here. I get a little excited. Okay. Oh wait, no. Whoa, that's a cool bar. This is in. It's actually focusing pretty well. What do you guys tell me on the quality of the video if it's focusing well for you? But AG Tech Tree Climber, that's what I've been preaching. I'm actually working with that company right now to try to get them a deal for my audience. But let me know what the quality is like on this because that's a pretty dang cool bar. AG Tech. It's focusing actually pretty well when I put it on there, so that's a good thing. But first big brick, second big brick, top of the pile here. This one's even got its own little cloth. It's probably real fancy. See that? You see, kids, you cut away. Cut away. Not towards you. You cut away. If you're watching this. See, algorithm, I care about people. I care about people. I'm here to help. Oh, you definitely could. Like, I mean, that would be rather easy to do with one of these. Like, I mean, let's see here. What do we got? Ooh. Little bull logo action. Little Engelhard bull logo. See, exactly, Phil. Exactly. Pretty cool little bar. Pretty cool little bar. What do you think? What do you think, guy? No, 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 maybe. Aha, aha. Sometimes you gotta do what the boss says. The boss liked that one. Yeah, people actually go for the pour lines on that. It's like a desired thing in the vintage bar world. This is a cool one. This is a California Crown Mint 25 ouncer. They just don't make silver bars like they used to. Like, that's just a cool design, cool logo, extruded bar with the finish on the sides of it. You got to take care of the captain. You know, you got to take care of the captain around here. We're all enjoying these silver bars. He's got to have one for himself. That's a rare one. This is a Duro. Yeah, vintage just it's like old cars. What's up, Bite Hunter? Bite Hunter gave me a super chat. I appreciate it. Says, I hope you have a safe place to put all that silver. Oh, he does. He does. That dude has an arsenal, man. You got to watch out for. I'm just happy that we're on the same team. We are on the same team, right? scares me sometimes. We've got a Cascade Refining 25 ouncer. No, Aztec, these are all old bars that aren't around anymore. Nothing in this video is modern. This is an Agnon. A really cool bar. RPRI. Pretty cool little stamp on this one. I haven't seen this one before. 24.28 ouncer. All right. Maybe I should have gone one box at a time because this gets a little bit heavy. I'm going to try to get the big ones first here. That's what she said. Sorry, algorithm. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't. This is a... Now, this is a cool bar. This is a cool bar here. Woo. I never seen a Handy Harmon that thin. That is redonkulous. The toning on that thing. This is a Handy Harmon vintage silver sheet. Try finding one of those around. That's going to be... I'm going to be envious of the person that gets this one in the auction. Look at the stamp on it. It's like perfectly struck. Old school vintage sheet. If you don't know what Handy Harmon is, there's one of them. So here's one of the smaller extrudeds that they had of the Handy Harmon, but this is just a super unique one. Silver sheet. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Wow. Are you registered yet? Have you made an account on Mineral Exchange yet? Have you done it? Is this in have There's two of them. There's two of them. I could have done two videos, to be honest with you guys. I could have done one video opening one of the boxes and another video opening the other box. I could literally like go Scrooge McDuck and like dive into the amount of bubble wrap on the floor over there. But wow, this is a different stamp too. This is an older one. What? What? I've seen a lot of Handy Harmons and I have never seen this. It's from New York, Bridgeport. Hang on. I got to get a good shot of the... It says New York, Bridgeport, Handy Harmon. I have never seen one of those stamps. Look at the toning on this thing. It's ridiculous. This kind of lighting doesn't show the true tone of the bar. When I do the photography, it will, but you'll be able to see in better detail. This is I've never seen a Handy Harman strike like that. That's the first one I've ever seen. This thing's money. This thing will go for big money. This is this stuff that like you can't find on eBay. You can't find this stuff. It's like people aren't selling this stuff. It's like it's crazy. Look at that. This feels like 25 to 30 ounce. Yeah, about 20, 25 ounces, something like that. I'd have to get the exact weight, but the toning on this thing is like, it's hard to show. It's like just rainbowed out. Can you bing it to hear how it sounds? For you, Phil, you got it. Hang on. That sounds pretty great, actually. That's some ASMR right there. You guys changing the channel into an ASMR channel. Ready? Silver just sounds pretty. All right. Whoa. Super cool looking 25 ouncer. I can't say that I've seen that logo before, but this looks like a sand casting. It almost looks like a David C. David bar. The edges on it. Look at David C. Davis, I think is the name of those. You're right, Rick. If you dislike it, you got to hit it twice. You got to hit it twice. Or hit the like button. I believe it. I believe you can hit the like. We're at up to 131 likes up on here. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And by the way, I'm not just trying to show off my collection to anybody watching this. This is all stuff that I would love to have personally, but I have to auction it. That's the only reason I get this stuff is because it's going up for auction and people want to get fair money for it. The thing about eBay is eBay doesn't do the photography for you, doesn't do the shipping for you, it doesn't verify that the metal is true silver, doesn't do any of that stuff for you. And I do it for 4% less of the take. You know, so it's free to consign and it's 10% on the buyer, and all the auctions start at zero with no reserve. So the way that it's designed is why all this crazy stuff is coming to market right now, is because I'm actually providing a service, whereas eBay only provides a platform. It's like, hey, give us 14% because you're lucky enough to use our platform, and it's like, I think there's a need to be more of a service. Because it's not easy doing the photography and the uploading alone. It's like just that each individual upload and each from photography, doing the editing, getting the item ready to showcase, and then uploading it is probably like a 15-30 minute process per item. So it's like there's a lot of work that goes into the website. That's why it takes up a lot of my time. But I'm gonna start. The thing is, right now I'm all in on building because I'm gonna be unveiling something that I've been working on pretty soon here. And there's going to be more employees. There's going to be a bigger company. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And then I'm going to be making YouTube videos every day. So I'm getting to that. I promise you. It's not just about my business. Just right now it is. First you get the money. Then you get the power. Then you get the respect. All right. Next bar. Brian Carrera Cabrera, patina. I meant earlier. What did you say earlier? Appreciate the super chat, man. What did you? If you give me a super chat, I'm gonna make sure I answer you. What did you say in the first comment, Brian Carrera Cabrera? I actually didn't see the first one. Fiat currency or toilet paper. I see that one. What else did you comment, Brian? Can you comment again? I'll read whatever you. Patina I meant earlier. He probably said something about one of the bars being patina. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Got a Drew 10.03. All right, I gotta find out what this big. What is this thing? This is probably the only modern piece in all of this. So let's find out what this thing is. And to those who are afraid of me, you know, the way I'm using this thing or whatnot, I know how to use a. You know how many boxes I've opened in my day? You know how many? Probably a half a bajillion, jillion, trillion, 100 billion, million, trillion, 45, 82 billion, batrillion. Uh, anyway. This is pretty sick. That's pretty bananas. I think these are actually pretty low mintages. I'd have to check. But this is a 2020. Man, this is a cool piece. This is a cool piece. I don't know if I'm allowed to show that on camera. Are you allowed to show a Libertad on camera? She's it's exposed. My algorithm, can I show that? Put a bra on her. Put a bra on her. There we go. Algorithm. Just don't beat me up, algorithm. I promise you. I think the algorithm could spot that out. You know, like, look, wow. Cover her up. Cover her up. It's a 2020 Libertad Kilo. Pretty cool one. All right. We're at the final countdown around here. We're final countdown. Brian Carrera Cabrera says, I merely misspelled earlier the word patina, and my meaning was probably not understood. I understand. Appreciate you, Brian. It's a fine piece. We guessed correctly. What's up from Bitcoin live stream? I want people to know that watch my videos too. You know, if you're like a part of, you know, somebody trying to build a business or something like that, I don't come from money. I don't come from money. This isn't like some handout. Everything that I've got, I've earned in my life over the last 5 years, and I'm not afraid to say that. So I don't want anybody to look at these videos and see, oh, this guy's wearing a Rolex and he's flashing all this silver and this and that. This has been a journey, and I'm still on that journey. And this isn't stuff that I own personally. I wish I owned all of this personally. I have a pretty cool collection myself, but this is all stuff going on my auction website. But if anything, I want to teach more people, you know, or I just want to show the journey, if anything. And if by watching the journey it helps people, then so be it. Like, I strongly want to be an advocate for people to embrace being an entrepreneur, because if I knew my whole life that all I wanted to do was be an entrepreneur, I would have been way further ahead than I am right now. Granted, I probably would have been on a different path. Like, who knows what the path would have been like, but the last thing I want to do is come across as like, oh, I'm a guru and here's my fancy pile of silver. You know, it's like, it's more so I'd like to show that, like, hey, you know, 6 years ago I was living in the back of my car. I was waiting tables. Like, this is, I believe in entrepreneurship and I believe that you can do it too, sort of thing. So this is an Engelhard waffle back. Silver bean counter in the room. Check out that's got a nice. People look for on these old Englehards, they look for that kind of detail on the waffle, on the back of it. It's hard to make that pop on a photo. Really cool waffling on this one. I think this week. Scott, I actually like I vaguely familiar, but I mean you got a pretty generic. You just have Scott as your name, so I don't know. You look a little from I don't recall, but if you had like a first, or like I don't know, but don't be upset with me. I don't know. I don't know. This is a Engelhard Bull logo. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. Like maybe when I first started the channel way back in the day or something. You sound familiar. You have to elaborate a little bit. You got another Engelhard. Yeah, the one thing I will say about the silver and gold market, so I got a pretty good pulse talking to the bigger dealers and stuff about what's going on right now. And we are seeing a lot of premiums jumping, especially on like weird items too. Like so like proof eagles, for example, like proof gold eagles, the premium on those is like astronomical right now. And it wasn't even high at all like a year ago. So like proof gold eagles, silver eagles, stuff like that. Personally, I would rather pay 40, $50 an ounce on vintage bars than I would on having silver eagles because they're just new modern eagles. But I mean, I personally would rather have a 10 ounce, something like that of something. Um, got a Engelhard Bull logo. But yeah, the premiums are jumping up on like 100-ounce silver bars and things like that. I'm noticing it was like not selling for a little bit, and then out of nowhere, the premiums on the 100-ounce bars like jumped up to +4, +5. Super cool W. This is one of the different varieties. It's got like a waffle back on the back of a W series Engelhard. Yeah, I never understood the huge premium on silver eagles. To be honest with you, I mean it's cool, I guess, for like having fractional amounts of silver, but the premiums are so high on silver eagles that um, I don't know if it makes sense personally. What do we got here? Old school Ohio Precious Metals. That one down there. Here's what we'll do. We'll just keep. I'm gonna just get these. We're gonna open these up. We're gonna get this done around here. Wow, look at the pour on that. Crazy sunburst on that one. Vacation time. Price on Eagles are going up. Used to be 28 to 29. Now they're going for 32 plus. I love Charlie Brown, but not $37 worth. There's an Academy with one of the CSR co counter stamps on there. 28.1. That's a pretty cool bar. Roger says, way cool being your real self, showing all these treasures and creating real fun. It's amazing what the simple things we do are so enjoyable. The juice is sharing with others. I agree, Roger. Appreciate you writing that. What is the first type of silver I started collecting? Should I tell some? I got some crazy silver stories. Like, I've got some stories people wouldn't believe. Um, where's the first silver bar I ever got? I don't know if I could tell that story on YouTube. How can I? So there was a time when I didn't have any silver bars and I was dead broke, and I was going to coin shows with a group of coin dealers that kind of took me under their wing. And I was kind of out of my element. I was more of like a just like the kid that was tagging along sort of thing. Another really cool looking bull logo. And we were in a Vegas coin show. And I was out with all of these high end coin dealers, all these multimillionaire fancy coin dealers. And we were at this restaurant. It's called Sinatra at the Encore with this back patio area. And this one coin dealer was talking some smack, and he brought out the little street kid in me. And back then, I used to enjoy a drink or two, and they were talking some smack, like, "Oh, who is this kid? What is he even doing here? You're not, blah blah blah." And he said a pretty weird remark in my ear, and I couldn't take it. And this guy, you got to remember, this is some fancy guy, probably worth a few $1,000,000 or something, and it didn't really bother me that he was worth some money or whatever. I just didn't like how he was disrespecting me, and so I got into a little altercation with him. Let's just say, we'll just say that I got into an altercation with him, and the people I went with had to ditch me in Vegas. And that was where we parted our ways, and I built mineral exchanges after that altercation. Is from that. But how does that lead to the first silver bars that I got? Well, I was studying the market and I was learning about things as I was going along, and I wanted to just be flipping whatever I could flip. It wasn't even vintage bars. It was just whatever I could flip. And I went back to that coin show the next day, despite kind of being kicked to the curb by the people I went with, because I was the loose cannon and couldn't help myself. Looking back on it, would have done the same thing. Don't regret it at all. That guy was you know what? But one of the coin dealers that saw me do that came up to me at the coin show the next day and said, "That was the coolest thing I ever seen." I loved that. I couldn't believe it. I thought I had like burned all my bridges, and I was like, "Oh, I was just some loose cannon kid." And he spotted me to buy some inventory at that show, and that's where some of my first rare silver bars were bought. I'd walk around like, "Oh, those Inglehards are kind of cool," and I'll buy some of those. And he basically spotted me to buy some inventory, and I started flipping it, and he gave me a temporary loan, and that's where I built my first reputation because I paid him back with interest. Um, but that was where it started. There's a little story for you all. Maybe one day I'll go into better detail of that story, but that was where my first silver bars came from. Not the first bars I ever saw, but the first ones I bought to flip was from that person spotting me some money because he thought it was cool that I stood up for myself. Um, did I need to do that? Did it burn some bridges for me? Probably. But these days, I don't regret it. And to this day, people got to start like going, you can't just talk that way to anybody. You can't just talk, just because you're worth some money doesn't mean you can talk smack in my ear like that. But yeah, true story. Good times in the Sinatra restaurant. Nice restaurant. Nice restaurant. That place. I wish I had stayed to finish my meal. It was pretty good. Oh, memories. Memories. But that was what like the mineral exchange was founded off of like pure anger and rage from them like looking down on me being this like little mutt tagging along. That's how they like that guy treated me like I was just some little mutt. And I'm like, "Nah, I'm going to build a name in this industry. I promise you. I promise you." Vadim. Can you see me now? Vadim. Can you? Anyway, uh little name drop right there. This is actually a no hallmark. Looks like a Handy Harmon with no hallmark on it. This has been quite an array of silver. I think that I've been at least showing pretty good shots of this as I go forward. Wow, that's a cool. This is a cool variety, Engelhard 10 ounce. It might be, David. It might be. You got to go to the auction website. You could make it your stuff. It's not, but it could be. It could be. All of this is going to be posted on Monday and then Monday the next week. Over the next 2 weeks, all of this. What's crazy to say is over the next 2 weeks, all of this will sell. It's not like going to be listed at some super high price or best offer or whatever like it always is on eBay. It's all being put at $0. All of it is starting at 0. I repeat, starting at 0 with no reserve, and it will sell. Launches on Monday, ends on Sunday. If you don't believe me, this week I got 156 items, no reserve, ending Sunday. I stagger the auctions about a minute apart, but they end between 4 and 6 p.m. Pacific. This one might be from like 4 to 7 p.m. Pacific because it's kind of a bigger one this week. But these will all be, wow, it's a WGB 25 ouncer. It's a rare bar. Yankees up in the house. We got Yankee up in the house. I was just giving you some credit with how cool the cat Tim is. Watching some of your videos. We were talking about you earlier. What's up, Yankee? Got a WGB. This one is a Metal Rex 9.77. Silver Bean Counter says, I hope you're still doing it when I'm ready to part with my vintage. It will be a long time. I think I will. Or I at least have a part in it. My biggest thing is things are expanding so fast that I need even more. I have a few part-time hands now, so I'm actually, believe it or not, I am an employee. I'm an employer. I have employees. Can you believe that this crazy squirrel is telling people what to do around here? This is some crazy stuff. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? This is scary. Universe is putting some power in my hands with these employees. I got to read the rules on like what I'm allowed to do and stuff because got a Colonial 10 ounce. That's a cool bar. This is getting like, you guys can't see here, but wait a minute. Let me just straighten this out a little bit. Yankee says, I have one employee, Mrs. Yankee. That's a good employee. The other, like, I wish I had one of those employees. That's a good employee to have. You got a good one then. Around here, around here where I'm from, I'm not allowed to say that actually. I'm not allowed to say that certain, I got to watch out for the liabilities in my area. You know, if you got one to be an asset, you're lucky. You are lucky. You found a good one. I actually don't know what this, it has like the Euro stamp on it or like a different stamp on that, but it's 14.58. Thank you, Yankee. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, there's quite a bit in here. I gotta pull it back. I'll pull it back in a second here. We're almost done. This is the last. We're at the last like 8 of these bars. This is at least this got to be 100 bars here. 100 vintage bars. This is a crazy amount of stuff here. Let me see. I'm just impressed that I haven't sliced my finger. I wonder what took longer, me opening it or the person that sent it packaging, the person who sent this packaging it all. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Did it take longer how long has this live stream been? You guys are great to be here for this. This is a 2-hour long live stream opening up, You know, somewhere I think this is closer to 100,000 worth of vintage silver, somewhere in the 75 to 100,000 range. I probably could have said 100 to make it more clickbaity on the title. Could have happened, but silver bean counter, that is a good question. I am realizing that now that I do need to have a limit on the value of each individual item being, you know, over 100 or something like that. I'm going to probably be putting a like 1,500 minimum, $100 per individual auction minimum, something like that, because it does take around 30 minutes to upload an auction. To do photography, to upload, it's not like I can just like telepathically process items. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. So when it comes to like doing individual auctions for like 1 ounce pieces and things like that, it doesn't make sense because of my fees are so low. But I think I will be keeping the minimum very low, though. It will be like over like this bar, for example, is over $100, so this fits the criteria. But maybe I need to eventually in the future, because it's starting to grow really fast. I probably will have to put some sort of governor or something on it, but it'll be realistic. Um, there's so many. I gotta pull. You guys are only seeing so much. Like there's actually like a whole lot more in front of me. Hang on, I can move. Hey, now, Richard, Yankee says some good stuff on there too. Yankee says some good stuff on there too. Shout out Yankee. I like some of the stuff that he's saying on there. And to be fair, when I first started on YouTube, I was talking some smack. And turns out Yankee was actually right about silver going back. I think I was talking smack about silver going over 20 an ounce and not pulling back under 20 an ounce. And I started talking some smack. I was like, Psh, you think silver's going to go under 20? You're crazy. You're crazy. What are you talking about? Turns out silver did go under 20. It took a little longer than you expected, but it did. So you gotta tip the cap. You gotta tip the cap. You gotta tip the cap to Yankee. You know, you gotta tip him. He did call out that he thought there was going to be a pullback. Timing was a little bit off, but you were ultimately right. I didn't think that I would ever see silver under 20 an ounce again, which is crazy. So gotta give. The thing is, you gotta give respect where respect is due. Got a. This is a cool one. It's a Swiss of America 5.2 ounce. You are Yankee. You are giving yourself some tough competition though to give you to. Man, that Tim cat is a pretty cool cat. I like that guy. He seems like a cool dude. Seems like a guy you'd want on your side when things hit the fan. All right, let me see. How can I pull this back or something here? Let me see what I can do here. Let me see what I got. We're almost at the end of this, but I gotta at least show the whole overview of what we've just done around here. Pull back some of these bars. Talk about this is like legitimate silver Tetris right here. This is a game of pure silver Tetris. See this? You seeing this right here? Look at. This is how you know I was from that era. This is legitimate silver Tetris. Rob, did you see my flag question? Hang on. It's quite a spread. I married up, Rob. I assure you. That's good to hear. Maybe one day I'll find a good one myself. Longer you unbox it, longer to unbox it because you're live streaming. This is true. This is true. I have to admit, I'm loving the flag behind you. Where did you get it? This was God, I saw an advertisement on like Instagram for this company that was. I wish I knew the name off the top of my head, but it's actually like made out of wood. It's like the stars are like beveled into the wood. It was like a $230 flag or something like that. But I think if you Google like hand, it's like a veteran owned company that makes hand carved or handmade like wood flags. But if you look up like veteran owned, maybe I'll find it after the video. I can't remember the name of it. It's like flags for, I forget, but I'll be able to, maybe I'll shoot you a DM about it or something. But I know, I don't think I think there's only one of them. It's one company that's like veteran owned somewhere in the States. Let's see here. Oh, the last thing I need is like everything to fall off this table as I'm trying to showcase it. You know, it's like, and it's on auction. There it is. It just like falls all over the floor, and it's up for bidding right now. Thank you for consigning with Mineral Exchange. Let's see how am I gonna pull the? If you can tell, like I'm starting to pull trays back. There's trays back. I feel like it's like flags for freedom. Something. This is gonna bother me. If it's something on the back of my mind, it's gonna bother me if I can't remember. Hang on. I think I can pull up like the actual email. We will find out in real time because I actually think it's a pretty good quality flag. I like it. There it is. Wait. Flags Forever Co. Flags Forever was the name of it. Got it. I feel better now. Okay. Let me see here. Pull this back. Okay. So we got quite an array here. This is quite the array of silver at this point. It's pretty intense. I mean, I don't know how to really show all of it, but it's like you see in here in this area. This is the end of that. I'm running out of space around here. But let me see. We still have a few more to unbox around here. We still got a few more to unbox around here. And I think that as we've been going through the video, you've seen kind of every bar as I show each one. Especially the cool ones. Like the stuff that's just kind of the average. Like this is an average Engelhard art bar. We'll save some time on that. Oh, that one was pretty. You were close to a spot then. All right, it just fell on my lap. All right. Luckily that was a smaller one. I still can't get over these. I'll show these Handy Harmons again in a second here. The Handy Harmons those are super cool. That's a really cool bar. This is a URI with a what? It's a URI with a Kingsman silver counter stamp with like the pigtail pour. That's it. I haven't seen one of these ever, but look at this. If you're in the vintage bar scene, this is a pretty unique one. It's a URI on the front, and then on the back side, it has a Kingsman silver counter stamp. Can't get it to focus. There we go. That's a pretty cool bar. To those that know, that's a pretty cool bar. I'm going to be curious where the auction ends up on this one. That's a rare bar. That's super cool. I'm like out of space. I've silver Tetris this entire thing out, you know? This is getting pretty intense. This is going to be, I mean, this week is the biggest auction I've ever done on the website. And this is, so if we go back to all active auctions, let me see here. So this week we got 156 items up. So just if you're curious to see like what all these bars are going to look like, if you want, actually a lot of people use my website. Like I think like 70% of people are on their iPhone or on a mobile phone when they use the website. But the website actually looks a lot better from the desktop. So if you go on the desktop, you can see, and this is just a regular. This is like an if you don't have an account, this is what it will look like. But when you have an account, it'll have like a bid button right here, so you can bid right from this page, which is a unique feature that I added to my website where people can bid right from. I call it the quick bid page. It's something that I implemented in the beta version here. and you can actually kind of scroll through products super easily and see the back sides of them. The website is a lot better to use on the desktop. But here's all the stuff that we got this week. This is all ending on Sunday, by the way. The times will be about, right now, the times aren't exact. The times will be like a minute apart, but all of these auctions are live and they all will end on Sunday between 4 and 7 p.m. Pacific. The auctions are usually staggered by about a minute or 30 seconds apart. So for the final end time, check on Sunday morning. But there's 2 pages. This is the first time that we're utilizing 2 pages. So pretty cool to have this many items up. And so what's nice is when you see on the website, like the photography is really where it shines, and you can see all these individual bars and what they go for. And again, all the auction history is right here under auction history, and it's all for free. Over 700 auctions have been ran on Mineral Exchange. Over 700. After these next few weeks, we're breaking over 1,000. So it's getting pretty intense. It's getting pretty intense. But for anybody that's interested in learning more about the vintage market or anything, all of the price data of all the old auctions is free. We're going to keep giving away the price history for free, and it's not going to change. We ran this was a crazy deal, actually. Last week we ran a 5-ounce platinum bar that went for $4,700 plus the 10%. So it went like a little bit over $1,000 an ounce for an old, like a it's not super old, but you never see the 5-ounce class platinum Pamp Suisses like that. That's a cool bar. So if you look, hang on here, this one, let me go to some of the pictures here. So this was with the original assay card like that, and that one just sold last week for just over 5,000. So pretty good deal on that one, actually. But let me go back. Boom. All right, we're back. Yes, there's a little search button actually at the top. Hang on. I actually just implemented that into the code. It was not easy to do this, but if you go, I don't have my keyboard in front of me, but you can check yourself. So make an account on mineralexchange.com. But if you go, hang on, you go, I really appreciate that, Yankee. Thank you, man. If you click this little search button right here, you can search the entire website for like what's cool is when you search at the top, you click, so hang on, let me go back. You click this little search button right here. You can search the entire website. If you search like platinum bar, this bar will show up. But what's interesting is if you put like Engelhard bar, it'll first show you all of the live auctions that are available, and then it'll show you the stuff that's sold in the past. So you can just search the entire website in one shot right there. I wanted to make everything as simple as possible to use, but that's a new feature. So I appreciate you asking that, Silver Bean Counter. That's the little feature that I just added recently, the search button, so you can search the entire website for every auction we've ever done. Let me go back. I should be charging money for this. You know, I'm giving away all this price data for free, you know, but I'm giving away for free for a reason. I want people to learn about vintage, and hopefully they trust us to sell some of their items for them in return when they find them, you know? This is a Tri-State Refining Kit Kat bar. The best payment option I've ever found is e-checks. Deluxe e-checks is the best that I've ever found. That's what I think is really, I like the e-checks so much that I know for a fact starting this week, some people might not be happy to hear this because there's been people abusing this, and one person can ruin it for all, but no longer accepting mailed checks. After this weekend, no more mailed checks. So I'm so sick of the mailed checks. It's ridiculous. We're not going to allow it anymore. We're going to allow e-checks, wires, ACH, and PayPal if they want to pay the fee. If somebody wants to pay with a credit card and they want to pay the fee, so be it. I will accept PayPal. But really, the payment method of the future, in my opinion, is e-checks. I think e-checks really is the best. And at this point, like sometimes people can be lazy. You know, you tell them like, this is the best method. This is the best. E-checks, the best method. Costs 45 cents to send as much money as you want on an e-check for any dollar amount. Like it costs the same as a stamp to send 10 grand. E-checks are the best, period. But people will still, you'll tell them that and they'll be like, oh, can I mail a check? And it's like, I finally have come to a point where it's like, I am not gonna. I don't have to have a coffee meeting. I don't have to tell people what, I don't have to beg people to change this on the site. I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna say we don't accept mailed checks anymore. You don't like it, don't bid. E-checks, e-check, e-check. Period. We're not gonna accept mailed checks anymore. Mailed checks. Sorry to the grandparents listening, but that is for the grandparents. I think that we're in a different day and age where we don't need to mail checks anymore. It takes 5 days for a mailed check to get here. Not accepting mailed checks anymore. Maybe some other auction houses will. I won't. E-checks. We got to pay our consigners. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people trying to mail checks. This is a Sandoval. There we go. Sandoval Jewelers 10 ounce. These are actually go for a pretty penny. That's a cool bar. Getting down to the end of it. I think we got 2 left. Phew. Hang on. I missed. I never missed a super chat. Hang on. Let me go. G-Dub, what's your opinion on selling Silver Eagles $10.50 over spot to acquire more ounces in generic bullion or bars? God bless. What's up, G-Dub? I appreciate you, man. I mean, if you're into it for a profitable amount and you have, you got your Eagles for a cheap price and you have an offer for like a really big premium price on it from a dealer or something like that, personally, I would roll it to 100-ounce bars. Personally. Like if I was trying to get the most bang for my buck, I would get a pile of Engelhard 100-ounce bars. I would get something like that, or I would roll it into something that I think has more value. It's funny. A lot of people used to laugh at the vintage bar scene. Not so much lately. The people in vintage bars made quite a pretty penny. Like this individual here will probably do pretty well because they were stacking vintage bars when nobody else believed in them. And now they're so hot. I mean, wow, how did I overlook this bar? See, I'm a squirrel. I am genuinely a squirrel. Like, this is why I didn't do well in college. I'll be like talking about something and be like, oh, wow, an acorn. Wow, look at that. welcome to the circus show that is my head, my brain. This bar is a tough one to come by. A Harrington 5 ounce, Harrington, Australia, and it's like mint. That is a tough bar to find. But G-Dub, just back to your question, and I appreciate the super chat, man. That was very generous. I would personally roll up profits. I just feel like Silver Eagles, at the end of the day, it's an ounce of silver. I mean, if you have your own way, like everything here will be XRF'd by our XRF machine. We have a $20,000 Knighton XRF machine that tests everything for being pure silver. So some of the premium is like, oh, well, it's an American-made product, and it's pure silver. And it's like, well, if you have a way to verify your silver, it's silver, and silver's silver. Like, what's wrong with having like some generic 1 ounce rounds? I mean, it's still silver, and if you have a verifier, I mean, that it's silver. So I mean, I guess even the exchanges, like I've seen. Here's the thing: I have seen beautifully faked Silver Eagles, beautifully faked. I've seen them all. I've seen so many different kinds of fakes in the Pamp gold ones. I've seen a lot of fakes of that, a lot of fake Perth gold. I've seen a lot of fakes out there, and just the fact that it says American Eagle on it doesn't guarantee that it's pure silver. So if that's the reason why the premium, I guess I have to ask myself, like, why is the premium that high? Just for the name brand of being an American Silver Eagle? I mean, if it was like an old, say these were like Morgans or like they're like old silver and there's like some sort of premium in there, I would understand, but it's still modern. It still isn't really rare. In that specific situation, like obviously you can tell I don't believe silver because I'm into the vintage world. But in that specific situation, I think silver is silver. So if that makes sense. So if I could unload monster boxes at a premium, I would probably do that. I would probably do that myself, and I would probably go into things that I think were going to go up in value at a faster rate. Because like say Something I do know from being a dealer this long is that when the prices go down, the premiums jump up, right? But when the price starts skyrocketing, when you see silver start going up, the premium on those silver eagles will crunch down. Even though the price is going up, say you're getting, hypothetically, say you're getting $50 an ounce for an eagle. That's way higher than it is, but let's just say hypothetically. If silver goes up to say $40 an ounce, do you think you're going to get the same premium that you got today on those eagles when silver's at 40? Or do you think that premium is going to get eaten up as silver goes up? Personally, I think it'll get eaten up a little bit and you'll get more bang for the buck on the 100-ounce bricks and things like that. But that's my personal take on it. Maybe there's probably some people out there that say the silver eagles are totally worth it. But hey, people that were investing in silver eagles are doing really well right now. The premiums are so high that a lot of them are in the profit. So who am I to say? But maybe that trend continues. I didn't think that I'd ever see these the proof gold eagles this high. Uh, see, got a cool little Engelhard waffle back as towards the end. See, I'm seeing some comments coming in here. If vintage bars are more, wait, he's responding to Beto, trying to. I don't think vintage bars are fake. No, they can be faked, Beto. They can be fake. That's why I test everything here. Everything from me is guaranteed and it's all tested. But they can be. Everything can be faked. Let's get that. Like, just to be honest with you, American Eagles can be faked. Vintage bars can be faked. It's a little bit harder, I would say, with a vintage bar because there's certain attributes to a vintage bar that if you've seen enough of them, it's pretty hard to fake it. Like, it's hard to get the patina right. It's hard to get like the stamp right. I think it's really hard to fake one, but they can be. I have seen them in the past. Um, but at the end of the day, I mean, I've seen 100-ounce silver bars that were drilled in the center and then refilled with like iron, and they put they covered it with silver on the edges so that it would test good. And the only way to get those is with an XRF because it goes deep into the bar. So you have to just test your stuff. At the end of the day, just test your stuff. I mean, it's really that simple. So silver when you test it, and then you add the rarity of the silver once you start going above that. But you got to test it. There is no silver. Put it this way. Uh, I want to test all of my silver personally. I want to test all my silver personally. Now, have I seen enough silver that I can look at it and know what's the fake one and what's not? I'm pretty good at that because I've seen a lot of silver, but it's pretty easy to get fooled by a fake piece, especially when they put them in those plastic holders. Like, they even have fake PCGS holders and things like that, especially with gold. I think silver is faked less than gold, quite a bit less than gold, but you got to test your stuff. At least get one of those little Veriscan verifier machines. Those are still pretty decent. They do a decent job. So that's what my advice would be on that. Um, Rob's Yankee says Rob's right. Premiums will drop when silver breaks through 30. Really drop at 40. I see. Yankee knows his stuff too. So I that's what I think is probably going to happen. And I've seen it so many times. I mean, we saw it. What was interesting is when we saw the silver squeeze situation happening when we broke over 30 briefly. Premiums were jumping and it was getting really hard to buy silver at that time. But if it keeps going up and up and up, it's it's going to be an interesting situation. Personally, I think that the price of silver will skyrocket, and then when it does, that premium will crunch tighter and be tighter bands. But at the end of the day, like right now, if I had the option to unload my silver eagles and have more weight silver, I would choose more weight silver personally. But I would still test everything. I still wouldn't be like, oh well, I don't need to test it now. It's like, no, I would still test everything. I mean, having like those Engelhard 100-ounce bars, that might be, $2,600, $2,700 in this market, somewhere in that range. It's a little bit of a better Engelhard, right? You have the bull logo, it's a port Engelhard. Those go for a little bit more. The pressed ones are like somewhere in the 24, 25 range right now. And so, I mean, I would rather be in those that, in that range, in that 24 to 26, 27 range. I would rather be in that range of 24 to 27 an ounce than paying, over 35 an ounce for those Eagles personally. I would rather have a stack of, if I had to choose between 2 monster boxes and 10 100-ounce Inglehards, I'd choose the 10 100-ounce Inglehards personally. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps in some way. I really appreciate that super chat, G-Dub. But I think you got. Oh wait, we got one last bar here, one last one, and then I'll start. Like I'll pick out now that it's all in front of me. I'll pick out some of the cherries that I think are really something special, and I'll show those on camera. We got one left. Here we go. Looks like a unique one. Oh, there's a couple. There's a few small ones. Okay, hang on here. Wouldn't it be funny if like the last one after like hundreds of these or whatever? You should see my floor right now. It's pretty ridiculous. Wouldn't it be funny if the last one I just like slice my finger and have to go to the hospital? That would be great. It's always the last one too. You got to really watch yourself when you're right at the very end. All right, there we go. There we go. We made it. What is this? I genuinely don't know the brand of this. It's like an unhallmarked little 1-ounce piece, but I have to do some research on that. It looks almost like a silver mat, but there's no hallmark on it. It just says 0.999. It's a unique one. Let me see here. And the last bar, what could it be? It's one of the smalls. This is like a Liberty. So there's a 5-ounce variety of this that I think I have. No, it's somewhere else, but there's on the website. I could probably show it on the website that I have a 5-ounce variety, one of these, and this is the 1-ounce Liberty piece. One for vintage bar giveaway. Yankee, calm down, calm down. I'm glad. Look at Yankee. Karen cares about me. She says, "Oh my God, be careful." We have somebody that cares about me in this live stream. Most people are like, "Watch him. He's gonna get it. He's gonna slice his finger open on the last one." At least I know that Karen cares about me. But oh, you know what I could show you on the website? I'll show you. This is actually a really cool little 1-ounce piece. So this is something interesting that I can actually show on the website how this works. Let me get. If you search Liberty, boom. So now I can show in real time how beneficial that little search feature is. Let me go back to the website. So I was just talking about the search feature, right? So I was just telling everybody that this is a Liberty bar, but it doesn't say Liberty on this 1-ounce piece. It doesn't say it anywhere actually. But what I can do is I can go to the website and search Liberty. So these are all the pieces that have Liberty in them right now on the website. So we got some Libertads, we got the Liberty piece, and that is the same bar, but the 5-ounce version that we have on the block. And then this is a 1-ounce piece of the Liberty here. And we have some old sales. So one sold for 202, a 5-ounce sold for 230, and this is the 1-ounce version of that. You could check the fonts on it. And this is kind of like the breadcrumb trail that I used to do back in the day as I do my own searching, but now I give away this data for free on the website. But look at. So if you go back and you pull this bar out, now you can see that has the matching font of that bar, and it is in fact a Liberty. And then you also check the backside of it, and you can see that square with the line through it, which was their hallmark stamp for the Liberty pieces out of Texas. These were from the 70s. Hang on if I can get it to focus for me. There we go. You can see that little square with the line through it on the back of it, right? So there's no way to know that this is a Liberty piece. I've just seen so many silver bars that I can spot it with my, I can just see that the font matches on one of those. But then you can think to yourself like, oh, I think that's one of those Liberty pieces. What is that one? What is one of those sold for in the past? How do I know what price per ounce that one goes for or whatever? And then you can go back to the website and you can see what ones have sold for in the past. So it actually works pretty well for that. And again, I'm giving away all this data for free. Hang on here. So there will be. I've sold. So again, we can test that out. We'll test. Hang on, let me put myself in the bottom corner here, so you can see the search button up there. Hang on. We could test out this here. So if you want to know Rothschild, but something I was going to show real quick before I do the search on this, look at, if you go to the Liberty piece, so this is one of those Liberty smelting, and these smaller ones can actually help you do your research. So when I said like that 1 ounce piece is a Liberty piece, here's Liberty smelting and refining out of from 1975. So now you know that that's a piece from the 70s. This is one of their 1 ounce pieces. Then you look at the backside of it, and there you see that same square with the line through it. It's always fun putting together the breadcrumbs, with these vintage bars, and that's how you know that it's a Liberty piece. Out of Texas, in Morton, Texas. Yep. So it's kind of and actually this one's on the block and it's currently at $30. As you can tell, this isn't a verified account. This is just what it looks like if you don't have a verified account. But if you verify an account, which only costs $1, so you can prove that you're not a bot, then you can bid. And right now it's at $30 and it's going to end on Sunday. So something to keep your eyes out for. But again, somebody just asked about the Rothschild situation. So we can go here and then we can go up in here and you can see some of the stuff people have searched. So there's Rothschild right there. So we'll put Rothschild in. And someone said, well, I can't wait till Rothschild stuff goes on the block. Here's all the Rothschild bars that we've sold in the past. This is prior to running an auction site, this one. That's why it says 0 there. But that bar, ironically enough, that little 1 ounce Rothschild is now like worth, I think they're worth like $5-6 now for the 1 ounce Rothschilds. They're super hard to find the 1 ouncers. I should have kept this collection way back in the day. This is like some of my old sales, but this is also some new stuff. So we sold some 100 grammers. This is a Montague counterstamp Rothschild and Sons. I sold quite a few Rothschilds. I mean, we've broken some records too on Rothschild sales. This was a pretty cool one. This is one of the older ones from the 50s. Pretty cool little write-up on it. And this one sold. This was a 58-gram Rothschild and Sons that sold for a little bit under $5,000 on the website. So we sell some pretty high-end stuff on the website, guys. But if people want to do their research, again, if you want to do your research on Rothschilds, you can just literally look up on the search feature there. Just look up Rothschild, and then you can see all the stuff that we've sold on the website. And again, I'm giving away all that data away for free. So that doesn't make you make an account. I don't know what will, but I'm hoping some people start searching more for these vintage bars and stuff in the scene. But those Rothschilds are pretty cool. I mean, to take gold from that specific. Anyway, but yeah, that's the search feature actually implemented that. I want to say, I appreciate that, Yankee. Yeah, it's almost embarrassing how much I've been in the vintage bar scene where I can just kind of spot stuff now, because I've seen so many of the examples of them. But I'm trying to help grow the space a little bit and get more knowledge out there. And now, at least with the website, there's a lot more data there for free. Pretty cool little feature, the search button. I actually added that. I think I added that about a month ago or something. But people have been asking about that. At first, it was make sure that all the data is recorded, and then I got that done, and then now it's that. But this has been like building this to where it is has been probably 4 years of working. So it's been a lot of work to get it to this position to where it's at. But it almost feels like the time has just flown by because it's been every day constantly grinding about it. I mean, when I first started the YouTube channel, I was still talking about it. Like, I'm working on something. I promise I'm working on something. I've been working on it. I'm working on it. And finally, you guys can see what I've been working on. But I want to show these handy Harmons again before we end the video here. Check these out. These are crazy. These handy Harmons are nuts. Look at how thin they are too. I can't wait to get these on a scale to see what these, but check these out. I think this one feels like it's like 11 or 12 ounces, and then this one feels like 20-25 ounces is what I would say. It's a little bit thicker on the one on the left. But the toning on these things, it's going to show up way better on the photos than this little ring light doesn't show the toning as well. But I've never seen a handy Harmon that looked like this with the New York stamp like that. Can't get it to focus. And then the Foster set and the Engelhard set is unreal. I mean, this is going to be a crazy one. This is going to be one, if anything, just to watch and see if you want this kind of stuff. I mean, it's going to be a long time before you find stuff like this to surface again. I mean, like this 3 ounce Engelhard here is one of the nicest ones I've ever seen with the bottom hallmark like that. Look at the toning on this thing. That's a crazy bar. I think I saw Brandon up here. Yankee gave me a super chat. I appreciate that, brother. Let me see what he said. He goes, thanks for the fun, Rob. At 1 a.m., I'm afraid it's time for this old Yankee to hit the bed. Have a great weekend, everyone. I appreciate you stopping by, Yankee. Thank you, man. That's awesome. Have a good night. I appreciate you being here. Bite Hunter says, since the stock market is collapsing, do you anticipate a mass rush on silver and other precious metals? That's a really good question. It's so hard to say. It's so hard to say because like the wild card scenario would be, other countries starting to push gold and silver again. So we're hearing about like the Russian gold standard, them going to a ruble gold standard or something along those lines. And you're seeing about them, all these central banks are accumulating gold. So it's like if a wild card scenario happens, I mean, it's to me, it's foolish to be all in and foolish to have none. And if I had none in the safe, I wouldn't be able to sleep well at night. If I was all in, I don't think I would be able to sleep well at night. So it's like it's hard to say to time it out. I think really what it comes down to with silver and gold is, do you have real custody of your assets? Do you actually have custody of it? Because right here, if the silver's in front of me, right now I have custody of this, right? It's real, it's physical, it's in front of me. But if it's, some digital money on some stock market, it's like I don't have real custody of it. So that changes the argument from dollar number go up to how much ounces do I have and what is the custody of those. So again, I think it would be foolish to be all in, foolish to have none in this market specifically. But if the stock market did crumble, I think that it would affect precious metals in the short term. And then I think precious metals would rise like a phoenix out of those ashes. And the only problem is, if you see the stock market crumble, where is that money going to go? When the stock market crumbled in 2009, that money flowed from that market. Keep in mind, last stock market crash was 2009, right? And I've shown this in prior videos. And in 2008, 2009, the inflation rate was like minuscule. It was under 2%, the inflation rate. Now we have an inflation rate that the real inflation rate on the real CPI data is somewhere around 15, 20%. So now if you take your money out of the stock market and you put it into the bank, it's getting burnt on both ends and shrinking. So you have to do something with those dollars. So if the stock market crashes, that money's got to flow somewhere. It can't just go straight into the banks, because then it's going to get burned by inflation, which is a different wild card scenario than we had back in 2008, 2009. So, and then in 2008, 2009, we didn't have inflation. And then the housing market, because the housing market crashed, a lot of that money flowed out of the stock market and into cheap real estate. Now we have excessive high prices from them hiking rates on real estate right now. The prices on real estate are already very high, even with this pullback. And then the rates are more expensive too. So the options on where to place this funny money is very limited. So I think that it's hard to say. I think temporarily precious metals would pull back, and then it would just start skyrocketing when that money flowed out of the bank account. But then again, it could crash and metals go up in that crash and do what it's supposed to do. If it went the way it was supposed to go, when the stock market goes down, metals are supposed to go up. When the dollar index and the stock market crash, metals would skyrocket. But what we saw in 2009 is when the stock market crashed, metals went down with it. And then silver went down to, I believe its bottom was around $7, $8 an ounce. And then it skyrocketed from there. From 2009 to 2011, it went to around just under 50 an ounce in that short 3-year time period. So 2-3 year time period. So I think that the same situation would happen again. That's what I think would happen. But it's a great question, Bite Hunter, and I appreciate the. What's something that's crazy is like when you see these like weird little bot accounts that try to like put weird stuff in the comments. It's like, I wonder if people actually fall for that. Like, so there's somebody saying like hot girls here. It's like, who falls for that? I want to know. Like, I really want to know. Like, I'm gonna just let them do that, because it's like, it's almost funny to me. Like, if somebody falls for that, it's like, why do you waste your time? Like, why do those bots waste their time to go around and comment stuff like that? It's just kind of crazy. But anyway, Small Chillin says, wait for the foreclosures to start coming in on the next year on real estate. DXY isn't done moving higher with the latest hot GDP this week. More to fall. Yes, I'm at the. I fall for it. Everyone. Okay, so maybe we should ban him. Maybe we should ban him. People are falling for this. Maybe I'm in the wrong business. Maybe I'm in the wrong business. But I could let me. I could show some of the stuff we were talking about here on the charts while we're getting close to the end of the stream. So the DXY has pulled back a little bit, but what I was talking about with the silver run up um, of the past, let me pull back the all-time chart. So if we see this run up right here, right? So this is 2009. This is the stock market crash. And when silver fell during the stock market crash in '08, silver was at a high of 20. I can't believe silver was at 22 in '08. And then it fell down from '08 until the middle of the crash of the stock market. Silver did pull back in '08 down to $8 was its low, in the $8 range, $7 $8. Then it skyrocketed right after the stock market crashed in the '08 crash, '09 crash, and then it rose like a phoenix right after that. So the money flowed out of the stock market in a stock market crash, temporarily sat in the banks for a little bit, and then flowed right into silver and spiked it up. And the similar chart is there with gold as well, where in '09 it pulled back a bit and then it jumped to highs of just under 2,000 in that same period. So I think that same situation would happen again. And as you can tell, caring about the timing in this period. So this is when the stock market crashed, right? Does it matter if you bought it here or if you bought it here? If it went there? Did that matter, that period right there? Same thing with silver. Did it matter in this? I mean, maybe a little bit. You had timed it out a little bit, but still, look at this jump. This, you still got to, even if you bought it at this level here or this level, it's huge jump in silver. So that crash, it affects it in short term, but long term, it just didn't make. And in this short term time too, if you have physical silver, you got to remember that even though this crash happened, the premium for silver might have still been up here. Even when it was down here, the premium for the silver bars could have been up here at that time period. I wasn't a dealer back then, so I couldn't tell you. I could tell you about during the pandemic. During the pandemic, when it crashed in the very beginning, silver premium skyrocketed, and it made no difference that it was at 12 an ounce versus because it was back up at 18 with the premiums. So that could be the situation here. Right now, weight is weight. Silver, and the premium could skyrocket in a market crash like that. That's why I think it's so important to have physical and to have the real thing than to have some ETF or something like that. But that's a little bit more of a better analysis than for that question, Bite Hunter. I hope that helps a little bit um, of what I think would happen. I personally, I don't think it matters if you bought it here or if you bought it here. It just mattered that you were stacking weight during this time period before this huge spike. And this is a telltale sign of literally the last recession. The last recession did this, and then it skyrocketed when all that money, the money flows out of the DXY. And ironically, you can see the same chart of what we're talking about with the DXY. So if we pull back the chart on the DXY, which is the dollar index here, and you go to the 2009 crash, in the 2009 recession, you had the DXY go from 90 down to its low of 72. And when the DXY goes down, it takes more dollars to buy the silver and gold. So you saw the dollar crash and the price of metals skyrocketed during this time period when it went down. The interesting aspect now is the dollar index has absolutely skyrocketed since then. So there's a lot of room for that DXY to fall back down. And if the DXY falls down during a stock market crash, we very well might see precious metals skyrocket. So I think that it just doesn't matter about timing. It just matters about stacking weight with your extra money when you can. Not financial advice, but that's just the way that the way I see it. Hopefully that's a little bit better of analysis as we run toward the end of this live stream. This has been like a 3-hour live stream, guys. 3-hour live stream. And still the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me very much. You see that? 3 hours I gave you, YouTube. Algorithm could eventually start showing my videos from time to time. I think this one was pretty clickbaity. Come on, YouTube. Throw me a bone from time to time. They're like, we don't want him to get money together. We don't want him to grow his audience. No, don't let that happen. This one's a little too crazy. see. I like it when it hypes me up when people say like liking and subscribing and stuff when I'm not even saying it. That means a lot. Thank you, Jacob, and thank you. We got hot girls who love silver and gold up in here as well. Appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the kind words. It says nice stream. I'm subscribing with my real account. Appreciate you being here. Karen says that's right when I started buying and it flew high and I sold it all. Congratulations on timing it right. Let me see here. I got Corrupted says, laugh out loud. Silver is a waste of time. Less than 5% sold at those tops and have held to basically nada now. So who would waste their time with it these days? Shots fired. Shots fired. No, I think that it comes down to, do you have custody of your money? Do you have custody of your assets? It's more than just the price go up or price go down. It's like, do you have custody? But the other thing I would say is actually on the flip of that, I mean, my vintage silver and gold collection went up probably 5 to 10x because I was picky about the types of silver and gold I was buying. You know, back in the day, the Rothschild stuff wasn't even picked up really that much. You know, the 1 ounce Rothschild bars, the first one I ever bought was like $1,400. And I flipped that one for like $7,000. I remember it was like $6-7 grand I got for that one. But it's like, it depends on what you're buying too. Some people in Silver Eagles right now are up on their money, just like we saw earlier. I think that, I don't know. I guess what my counter would be, and I don't, as you can tell, I don't silence anybody. If somebody's counter to my views, I want to hear you out. Now, I don't agree with that. I think that silver is a really good investment right now, personally. Obviously, I have my money where my mouth is on it. But I would counter with, what is the other alternative, Corrupted? You know, what is your alternative? What do you think is a better place to park your money? If silver is a bad place, like, what is the better choice? I'm curious. The stock market? I don't want to be in the stock market right now. Do you want it in dollars right now when you know inflation's at the levels it's at and they're printing as much as they are and they're messing with, do you want it in real estate when they're messing with the real estate market right now? I mean, where do you want to park? Do you want it in bonds? Like, where do you want to put your money would be my question if silver is a bad one, you know? So it's one thing to point your finger and like put down things, but it's another thing to like actually provide a viable alternative. I don't know what the alternative would be. If you didn't believe in precious metals, it's like, what's your alternative? You know, that's kind of how I look at it. Someone says Bitcoin. Well, what if you have both? If you're like me, I mean, I have quite a bit of Bitcoin, you know, many. So it's like, okay, well, if you have full coins and you like silver too, now what? Because technically, a lot of the Bitcoiners, they say Bitcoin's going to go to over $1 million a coin, and I'm not really against that. I just would. Here's the ironic, and we'll end the stream on this because we've been going for 3 hours now. This would be a good thumbnail pick. You know, maybe the boxes wasn't a good thumbnail. I think this was the better thumbnail. Hopefully people see the boxes and they see this picture later on and they're like, oh, he wasn't bluffing. But I don't want to lose my train of thought. What? No, I had a good thing I was going to say on this topic. I was talking about Bitcoin and silver. Lost my train of thought for a second there. I think that what I was bringing up is with Bitcoin is this is what it, like, thank you. It came back to me. A lot of people in Bitcoin, they're so anti gold and silver, and a lot of people in gold and silver are so anti Bitcoin. But what both don't understand is if either one of them causes the dollar to plummet, both of them will skyrocket. If Bitcoin succeeds, the DXY would plummet as the reserve currency, correct? If the DXY plummets, Bitcoin, gold, and silver would skyrocket. That's what people don't understand. If silver succeeds, Bitcoin would skyrocket. If gold succeeds, Bitcoin would skyrocket. If Bitcoin succeeds, gold and silver would skyrocket because all three of those things put a dent in the DXY. that's why I don't understand the whole like this or that or whatever it is. It's like have custody of your assets, whether it's in Bitcoin, silver, gold, platinum, palladium, whatever it is. Have custody of those assets because then you have true custody. And when the DX, it's a bet against the DXY. Precious metals, Bitcoin, I would even argue some real estate, some and all collectibles really is a bet against the dollar. And if the DXY falls, and if any of those succeed, well, then they'll skyrocket in value. It's really that simple. So it's like I don't understand the hatred between like the precious metals crowd and the Bitcoin crowd because really they all stand to benefit the same way. Um, that's how I feel about it. So hopefully that helps. They really are on the same team, and I agree. SBS like that's really the truth. It's like if whatever, and meanwhile, like when I go back to this chart, when I show that the DXY is that lofty right now, the last time it was this high. I mean, still, even at it had a little pullback from 115 down to 110, but the last time it was this high was back in '02. In '02, it was, I mean, like, so we're at a 20-year high on the DXY. There's a ton of room to fall. And if silver and gold start succeeding, it's going to make the DXY fall. And if in the same way that it would make, like if Bitcoin succeeds and keeps going up, and Bitcoin's doing decent, it's back over 20K right now. I mean, that's quite a bit of a pullback on the top of Bitcoin. Should have, I'm looking back on it when it was at 70 G's. I was a very wealthy individual in Bitcoin at this time, but I kept them, So it's like I luckily I got my Bitcoin right at the beginning into 2020, but I was buying still as it was going up. So my cost average is probably like right here. I'm probably like right breaking even on my Bitcoin position, but I believe in Bitcoin. I hope Bitcoin does succeed. If it succeeds, it'll make precious metals skyrocket. Like it really will. And if somebody doesn't believe that, I mean, I'd love to hear their counter. So it's like they're fighting the same fight. It's all about self-custody, power to the people. That's what it's all about. So that's how I see it personally. I think it's foolish to have no Bitcoin, and I think it's foolish to be all in Bitcoin. I think it's foolish to have no gold and silver, and I think it's foolish to be all in gold and silver. That's where I stand. I wouldn't sleep well at night if I didn't have some of both. That's how I feel. And any dollars I have is just to build my business and to keep growing things that I'm working on. So that's kind of how I view things myself. Corrupted gave me a $20 super chat now. I really appreciate that, man. It says BTC, cash, some PMs, some stocks, but for now, cash is king to take advantage of opportunities when it hits the fan. But yes, I own my own BTC. If banks crash and all that ends, then the world ends. So if banks crash and all that ends, then the world ends. So own some of it so own some of it all if you can. Sorry, I couldn't. It was a little bit clustered on that, but I really appreciate the super chat, Corrupted, and I agree with you. It's funny because like we agree with each other, like we are exactly on the same page. I self-custody my Bitcoin. My Bitcoin isn't in Coinbase. I understand cold storage very well. I run my own node. So if you want to know how much I know about Bitcoin, I run my own full node. And I understand how full nodes work. I understand that if there's thousands of full nodes around the world. See, what people don't understand with the reason why Bitcoin is the king of all of them is because all of these tokens are a facade. It's just a front. So when you hear like XRP or Dogecoin or whatever, that's the facade. What matters with the crypto is what's behind the facade, what's behind the front of it. With Bitcoin is it's very easy to make a full node, which is basically downloading all the blocks in the blockchain, right? And if you have the full node and you have all the blocks in the blockchain, well, then now other people have full nodes around the world. And so if one full node gets taken down or a mining situation gets taken down over here and there's one full node somewhere in the world, well, then they have the whole synced blockchain. So you can't ever destroy Bitcoin because they are all full nodes around the world. What matters is that ecosystem behind all of the miners and the full nodes that uphold the blockchain. That's what matters with Bitcoin is what's behind the facade. The token, anybody can make a token. Not everybody can make a system with thousands of nodes around the world that uphold that system and uphold that protocol. That's the difference with Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies is the defense mechanism. If all of Bitcoin gets taken out in the US, there will be a full node some other part in the world. And if it gets taken out there, then there's another full node somewhere in the world. And it only takes about 2 terabytes of data to run a full node, or actually a little bit less than 2 terabytes, like 1.8 terabytes. But I run my own full node. So I verify my own transactions into my own cold storage. I understand what it is to be your own bank to the point of running your own full node. So when it comes to like Bitcoin, I'm not some precious metals individual that doesn't know about Bitcoin. Like I promise you, people can quiz me on Bitcoin. I've studied it inside and out, and I like it. quite a bit. I think it's smart, but that doesn't change the fact that I like gold and silver too. So, I mean, I'm with you, Corrupted. I believe in, having a little bit of all of it. I really do. And so when it comes to what I have, though, I take custody of it. If it's not your keys, not your coins, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I stand firmly on that. Um, that's where I am. So it's funny that we actually think very similar. Chaz Cole says, "Do you think platinum is better than silver at these prices?" Platinum's really cheap and silver's really cheap. I like them both. I like them both, to be honest with you. Corrupted gave me another super chat. Says, "No shots fired, brother. You're a good man. It's a tough market. It's best to be ready for it all. Sorry, was limited in my characters on that last chat." We think exactly alike, Corrupted, and I appreciate you saying that, man. We really do. I believe in having some of all of it. I really do. And I think if I want Bitcoin to succeed. As somebody in precious metals, not only am I pot committed on Bitcoin, I have a lot of Bitcoin, but if it succeeds, it'll make the dollar index go down. And then when the dollar index goes down, silver and gold will jump up too. And I have custody of all of it. I have custody of my digital and I have custody of my physical, both of them. And I believe in that strongly. So, and on my website, I plan to start accepting Bitcoin, but when I accept Bitcoin, I want to put it in our own full node. I want it to verify with our own full node and put in our own cold storage and then keep the Bitcoin in our own bank. That's what I'm planning to do with Mineral Exchange in the future. So just know if people from the Bitcoin crowd are following my channel, which I do reach out to some people in the Bitcoin crowd, I believe in Bitcoin. I'm not opposed to Bitcoin. I just like them all. I like platinum. I like silver. I like gold. I like palladium. I like Bitcoin. Anything that I can get my money in my own hands, my assets into my own hands, into my own custody, that's what matters. That's what matters the most. And we all see very eye to eye. It's funny because the two crowds that are all like the libertarian crowds, we know as libertarians that they try to divide us. They try to divide us. They want us to be left or right. They want us divided. So the last thing we need to do is the people that understand self-custody. The last thing we need to do is divide the people that understand self-custody. That's the I don't want to see that happening because Bitcoiners are very smart and precious metals individuals are very smart. The last thing you want to do is not like each other. It's like you guys are very similar minded. I would like to bridge that gap there, but that's how I feel about it. But when I say I like Bitcoin, it's like I've studied it inside and out. I'm not pretending about it. There's a full node literally right over there. Once you've played with Bitcoin with cold storage and you bounced it from wallet to wallet, and you actually understand how that system works, and then if you know from my perspective from being an auctioneer with Mineral Exchange, it's like the hardest part is payments. There's other hard parts of it, but the hardest part I would say is getting someone to pay their invoice in a timely manner is really the hardest part. And if Bitcoin was the standard, it's final settlement. It's in the people's hands where I don't have to ask a bank for permission. I love Bitcoin when it comes to peer-to-peer payments. I think it's brilliant. I think the precious metals crowd would really benefit from understanding how self-custody of Bitcoin really is. It's everything. Phil says, "Getting too serious and too long without seeing some sexy silver. Shout out for the long live. Flash us some goodies now, please and thank you." All right. Well, I'll pick out some of the cherries here, and then we'll call it a live stream. All right, we'll call it a live stream. It's been 3 hours, a 3-hour live stream. I probably lost my voice from this one. I apologize for ranting and raving for so long. But let me pull out. So these ABCs are pretty ridiculously cool. Let me pull out. This is a 110 gram ABC vintage Australian bullion company. This is one of the cherries that I haven't really shown close yet. But the pore lines on this thing is crazy. I wonder if it'll... The photos, when I take the photography, it'll show it in much more detail, I think. But this is just a crazy... The bar is way prettier than it's showing on the screen here. Then we got a 2-ounce ABC. These are really hot right now. And this is a nice one. Got a 2-ounce Australian bullion company. I wish the lighting was better. This type of lighting is mainly for the podcast. It's not for showing the toning and stuff. I would say these two are some of the cherries of the group. We got some Engelhard MFRs up in here. Got an Engelhard 5-ounce MFR. That's a rare one. I feel like, you know what? I think these are consecutive. I think I have a consecutive pair of these MFRs. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. We got one of my favorites, the Deke Pereira. I'm really a big fan of the Deke Pereira bars. Deke Pereira there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff around here. The Duro's a really rare one. These Handy Harmons are crazy. The Foster set. This is probably the nicest one of these Foster sets I've ever come across, and it's a full set with the original top on it and everything. But the toning on this is so crazy that even with this bad lighting, it's still showing up pretty good. 1969 Foster Eagles nest set. Last one of these sold for a pretty penny. So and this is like the most mint set I've seen of one of these. That is a gnarly set. Tough one to find. This one is going to be a cool one to run. I can't wait to take the photos of this. The photography on this is going to be next level. I promise you that. This is a super cool set. And then we have the Engelhard set, the Engelhard London Hallmark collection from 1969. Mint in the original packaging. All 4 bars mint. And what's cool is like there's like this purple. Show you on the inside. It's like a purple velvet that they did. Like they just were way more presentable with their items back in the vintage days of silver. It's just like look at the presentation on this thing. It's crazy. It's such a cool set. Really is next level. That's an awesome set. What else we got around here? Texas Territorial Mint. 2 ounce. I mean, this is definitely like when I put in the title that this is 75 grand, it's probably around like maybe even a little bit more than that. There's some pieces in here that alone are like 2,000, 3,000, so I mean, this is going to add up quite a bit. It's going to be interesting to see what this auction is. If you want to know what all this stuff goes for and you want to see like close up detailed photos of it, it'll be on my Instagram. So check my Instagram at Rob Soltan on Instagram. Shoot me a follow here on my Instagram, and then it'll also be on the website here as well. You go here on Monday. I mean, I'd go on the website already because there's a lot of cool stuff on the website already right now. But there's 156 auctions, which is the biggest auction I've ever done on the website. So I'm like downplaying that we already have a ridiculous auction going right now. But on Monday, it's going to be another ridiculous auction. Like here's one of the ABCs. Just so you know how rare those ABCs are. This ABC 1 ounce here, really cool toned one, is currently at 131, it looks like. Yeah, 131 on that one. And this is a 110 gram, which is super rare weight class, and then a 2 ounce one right here. And the 1 ounce is currently at 131, and it probably has some room to run on that one. So these go for pretty big money per ounce. This is all super, super cool stuff on here. We got deltas, star metals, all kinds of stuff, really. Let's go to the page 2. And actually, I wanted to put up on this auction specifically, I wanted to put up a little bit of modern stuff. So I got a whole bunch of the Libertads here. Got 5 ounce Libertads, 2 ounce Libertads. And then on page 2, we got here's another one of these ABCs. This is just a 12 gram ABC just to show you how much these go for. It's at 106 right now, that ABC. So something to look for when you're hunting for silver. We got an Engelhard prefix bar here. Pretty great pour lines on that one. I even have some American Silver Eagles. So if you guys like American Silver Eagles, I even got some of those on the website. Right now we got a 2020 NGC Gem Uncirculated Emergency Production first day of issue roll of 20 1 ounce ASE American Silver Eagles. So that's a fancy graded one of 20 Silver Eagles. I got some of those. We got some Johnson Massey Freedom rounds. I got a whole bunch of these PAMPs on auction as well. And these are cheap right now. We just posted these yesterday, so hopefully these start running up a little bit. But we got all kinds of vintage bars, just so much stuff on the website right now. It's pretty intense. We got 6 Libertads, 5 A marks down here, Bunker Hill bars, coins. We got some fractional Libertad. So a lot of like just regular stuff too right now. I got a Geiger over here. So for people that want to order from us in a smaller way, anybody that spends over 1,000, you know that I call you personally. So I appreciate anybody that spends over 1,000. I try to call them personally. I only have so much time in the day, but I do try to make sure that I call everybody that spends over 1,000. But there's stuff here for people that don't want to spend as much. You know, there's lots of 10, lots of 20, things like that. And yeah, got a little Scottsdale 2-ouncer there. We got some smaller stuff as well. So check out the website, mineralexchange.com. But that'll do it, everybody. That'll do it. Thank you again for another great live stream. It's been a little while since I've been on here. Want to make some more videos for YouTube, and we will call it a night. That does it. Hopefully it wasn't clickbait. Hopefully it earned a like. Appreciate you being here. I will see you at the next video. Signing out.